nation, destroys our generation. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Looking for inspiration in my life. Looking for inspiration all the time. Looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for. Hey!
And what is happening, everybody? Yeah, we're gonna see how this works for us here. A lot of people have read the tweets, I guess, as far as been keeping in touch, I guess, as far as with all the problems I've been had with video capture here. Not only on Saturdays, but we had a little bit of that happening, I guess, as far as on Truckin' Tuesday, and figured some things out. So we're gonna see how this goes. For anybody that is somewhat aware, I guess, as far as how NDI works, as far as network device interface. Basically, reading the other PC, the gaming PC in this case, I guess, as far as a network device, right? So think of, you will, as far as on Wi-Fi, only hardwired. The fact that I can at least all the audio and all the video. This is kind of the package deal, I guess, as far as running NDI. I have used NDI in the past as far as running the streaming PC, I guess, as far as a laptop. So I'm kind of going the other way around, I guess, as far as using my older PC as a streaming PC, and now the gaming PC, I guess, as far as just as, you know, playing the games and checking out the sim and all that kind of stuff. So we're basically going the other way around from the way I used to do it, I guess, as far as with NDI. But basically what it comes down to, just for kind of bullet points here, as far as what I've done here, I've got OBS is running, I'll use that term loosely, because as far as on the gaming PC, just so that the streaming PC with the OBS, which I'm actually streaming from, can read that PC. So, just for an example, right now I'm on what I consider to be the streaming PC, right? So if I switch over to this scene for the gaming PC, there's not going to be anything over there. Kind of get the idea, or is it just what's going on here? So the only thing I got going on here right now, switch this over. So the only thing I got going on over here right now is the game track directory for the Texas Motor Speedway build. So this is where I'll still be able to communicate between both computers like I've always had to. But as far as you guys being able to see what's going on between the two, that's first and foremost, I guess, as far as what I've been trying to work out. So the video capture card, as far as in the form of a USB sense that I had been using previously, and having all the video freeze problems, I've just not gone that route anymore. So that's just to kind of give you a brief summary, I guess, as far as everything that I've done, I guess, as far as to better the stream, to work out all the kinks, all the quirks, and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping this goes over pretty well. One of the things I still want to test, this is going to be a little bit of a test stream, to see how the audios come over. Because the other thing I want to consider is getting rid of all the virtual mixer communications between both species. That's the other thing I want to hopefully get worked out. Torch, not so successful on the slots there. Welcome in, Torch. I know, Torch, you were definitely one of those, I guess, as far as that was kind of bummed out. As well as some others, I guess, as far as no streams, I guess, as far as it did take me, you know, a few days, I guess, as far as to get some things figured out, but I think we're good to go now. At least I hope so. That's all going to be in, uh-oh, did that switch over? There we go. Gotta push the button. Alright, so we're gonna get back over to the Texas Motor Speedway build, as I've been mentioning. So, Torch, you're already in here. So, you and I have talked, I guess, as far as off stream. I guess as far as how, oh, there we go. Mouse wouldn't move. Alright, anyway. So, we were talking about being able to get this texture for the grandstands to be uncompressed. And just as I've mentioned to you, I guess as far as so far from what I've tried to do, as far as to make that uncompressed, you don't really gain much more quality out of the texture to make it uncompressed. So the size of it, I guess as far as being uncompressed, doesn't really justify making it uncompressed. What I am going to do, and I know I sent you a file, what I am noticing, however that's saved, it's still got what I consider to be boogers in it. So you can see all this this coloring, and I guess as far as that's on the railings, and I'm pointing at here, that can still be cleaned up. And I think that's one of the things that I'll do, because I feel I screwed up on that. At this point, I feel like I done you wrong, I guess, as far as to not fix that properly, I guess, as far as, because whatever I had saved and I thought I sent you, or I had this all cleaned up, it's obviously not clean. So what I've got opened up here is that same texture, and I'm gonna do at least some of that, I guess, as far as on stream. One other thing that I did notice, I guess, as far as with opening the track up and checking things out, and this is, you're kind of at that stage at this point where you're gonna find, little nuances and artifacts, or whatever you want to call it, that's going on with the track that can be easily fixed. And one of the things I did notice, and much like, probably the pit road on the pit entrance there, where it didn't have the appropriate properties on it to get service in that stall, this is probably the same type of thing. So you got a little bit of miscuing here on the dash lines. It's very aesthetic. It's not something that's a detriment to the track, but I think this can be probably easily fixed, as far as just to fix the skewing of these dash lines on pit road. But that's the only other thing that I've noticed right off the bat as far as looking around. Obviously the texture, with the inner tire walls, obviously that got fixed. So we'll just kind of go over, I guess, as far as some of the things that has been fixed since the last time we've seen this. So one of the things that has been done with this tire wall is to make the texture for it uncompressed. So it gives a little bit more detail than it did previously. And one of the problems that we didn't necessarily get to show it on stream, but there was some texture mapping issues, especially with the ones on this end, and this part here. That's been corrected. It's just a matter of a miscue on the type of mapping on the texture itself, which is a 2 instead of a 3, as far as the way that model is mapped, texture map. So that's good to go. But yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of other than this grandstand texture, which, like I said, I'm going to fix that myself, because I feel at this point this is something that I screwed up. So what is up there, Pizza? What is going on today? Racer James, hello. Very nice day out today too. It's I've spent the majority of late last night and early into the afternoon here prior to the start of stream to get a lot of this, hopefully anyway, all this issue with the video capture from the other PC, I guess, as far as taken care of. So if we get any video freeze at this point, it's really going to surprise me, because right now, as I already mentioned, I am going entirely what is called NDI, which is a network device interface. So we're basically reading the other PC, the gaming PC, as a wireless device. I'm going to use that term loosely because it's all in the network. So for anybody that understands as far as how networking PCs within your own household works, I'm basically able to read that other PC without needing a video capture, independently. I can read that whole PC, audio, video, everything onto it, just by having another instance of OBS, a streaming software, as far as on that PC, so that the streaming OBS can actually read that. And I have used that in the past, as I mentioned, in the form of a laptop instead of a PC. I just didn't 100% think to go that route again, because finding the video capture with the new PC just seemed to be a more viable option, at least in my mind, at least anyway. I'm coming to find that's not necessarily the only option. So yeah, not feeling the greatest. Well, that's not. That doesn't sound good. I mean, is it just what do I want to say? Weather-related type of not so good, or just tired in general from working yourself too hard? I know I've definitely been there. So yeah, just to kind of give a once over. We've already fixed a lot of issues with the track as far as the animation, the motion and whatever of the helicopter from the care center over and take its path. We've already gone over that. So really, it's just really super duper minor stuff at this point. That's just something that I've already pointed out here on Pit Road, and I can definitely take the initiative, I guess, as far as to fix that on stream, just to kind of give an idea for those that witness these types of things, how you can fix it. Just really minor stuff, and it's very, and just like the pit road thing, a lot of these things tend to get overlooked as you're trying to fix other areas of the track. They do tend to get overlooked. It might have been there for how long? I guess as far as we just haven't noticed it up until now. So with as far into the track we are with this so far, I should say, as torches, you really get down to, at least I do, I really get down to nitty gritty and just nitpick it to death. I guess as far as to be like, okay, can this be fixed? I see this is, this is evident in the track. Can that be adjusted, without too much problem? That's just it. You're kind of tired, minor fever, but other than that ish. Yeah, I get you. Ooh, we almost got the jackpot there. There's almost a jackpot. Who's farting at me? Torch farting at me. Let's see. Once this track is finished, it will be available on. Yeah, I mean that's up to you. Yeah, that's definitely up to you. I would have no problem with that. I'm sure Racer James would not, as well as anybody else out there in the Ender 2003 community would mind that, as far as to have it up there. I think, now that you say that, I don't know if we ever did. I got some other things here to mention too. There lots of new videos they have been posting over on the YouTube channel, and my own ARC Nation YouTube channel. A lot of coverage of the playthrough of Farm Simulator on the No Man's Land, for example. So feel free to check that out if you're not already subscribed to that. Trying to get that the YouTube channel, I guess, as far as bumped up a little bit. Even if you go over there and check out some of the content there and give it a little bit of love, very much appreciated. Trying to get that built up there, I guess, a little bit with some of the content that we do on other streams for the channel. I guess as far as with the Furman, like I said, the No Man's Land playthrough. I guess as far as on the Outhouse servers there, been supporting quite a bit with Deuce for giving us that opportunity to play on that server. He's got a brand new Deuce MS has got a brand new community map for Farm Sim over at the Outhouse called La Mancha. So it's kind of like a South American style theme type of map. So if you're into that, head on over to Deuce MS over at the Outhouse there, and feel free to check that out if you still choose. Who came with the fart? Pete's coming in with the fart. Thank you for the spray. Yes, that's what we got to spray for. He was on a few times this week. Now I do have obviously too, I got the SBP channel, which still has a lot of really useful videos on it as well. It's a featured channel here on the Rock Nation YouTube. So as well as the Spline Design. So if you're looking for anything related to Spline Designs, the legacy stuff as far as over at SBP, or even my current content, I guess, as far as here from most of it is all archive stuff, I guess, as far as from the Twitch channel, but you'll find a lot of information right here on the YouTube channel, regardless of what you're looking for. So definitely feel free, I guess, to check that all out. But you were mentioning Torch, I guess, as far as making the track available once it's done here, I guess, as far as on Spline Designs. I do believe, and I gotta hold myself true here, or honest, if you go over to Spline Design site, and probably a good thing to mention that if you're on the Spline Designs YouTube, I'm gonna go over to the Spline Designs YouTube here for a second. Got the trailer playing for that. You can get to the Spline Designs website right on the YouTube channel as well. Click on the little icon over here to the bottom right. It'll take you right over to the landing page. You can also get to the SBP website, which is still in archive. I guess as far as like that is, it'll say it's under construction, but don't worry about that. All the files for the previous track builds, I guess as far as with Safer Barrier Project, are still there. Feel free to check those out. But the Spline Design site, if you go to the YouTube channel, you can get to that just like that. So some of the tracks that Torch has built in the past there, I wanted to see. I don't remember. I think you had mentioned the same thing with Dover, and I don't remember if we did. So if you go to our download section, let me get here. You do have some of these quick links here. That's the thing I want to mention too. You do have some quick links here. What I want is you go here, and you do have to be logged in. I need to change that. I thought I had adjusted that. So a lot of these quick links here doesn't allow you to go to that. In most cases, you should be able to go right into the downloads like this. If those quick links don't work for you, this will get you to the NASCAR Racing 2003 file section. And just to double check, a lot of menu stuff. We got the new campers, which you can use in whether you're building a track or if you want to update the ones that are in the shared track folder. We got the Monster Energy deal. That's the copyright one, my bad. Yeah, we don't have your track on here. Well, we'll have to get that fixed there too, Torch. That is with your permission, of course, I guess, as far as to make those tracks available. We'll definitely make sure we make that happen. Yeah, so we do have... Oh, we do have Dover. Here it is. My bad. So we do have a track section here. And this is one of Torch's previous builds here for the Dover 50th Anniversary Edition. You can feel free to get that over at the Spline Design site. All that's right here. We got a screenshot of that. Well done track as well. Much the same as you've noticed, I guess, as far as with Texas. So, yeah. Yep, I kind of figured we had it there. Yeah. I thought it was too. So it is in there in the track section here for the NASCAR Racing 2003. A lot of information as far as the README goes. Feel free to read that and download the track there. We got 86 downloads, I guess, as far as for that since that was released. I imagine too there, Torch, you're going to make that available elsewhere besides Spline Design site. But yeah, that's free to download. Don't have to be logged in or anything like that. Should be able to download it, no problem. Yep, that's all free to anybody. So yeah, in the NASCAR Racing 2003 section like so, we got lots of other things besides tracks. You can get to it this way too. So we got the poll down here, where you got the icons up here as far as to get to all the files that you need. You can download it right from here. Screenshot again. Yeah. So everything's working, just making sure. Only on Stunod. Well, there you have it, folks. I guess as far as if you're looking for the track builds, I guess as far as done by Torch, also known as TE. That's the TE extension, I guess as far as on the tracks in your track folder. That's where you want to go check them out. So, yeah, we'll definitely make sure we make that happen like we did with the Dover build here, the 50th anniversary anyway. I believe also... correct me if I'm wrong, Torch, you do have a Chase edition of Dover 2 that we don't have up here. We've got just that initial release of the 50th anniversary, which, fantastic track. I mean, I've never been a huge fan, I guess, of Dover overall, but to race on this track, it kind of takes the, not liking it so much out of the equation. It's pretty cool. So, highly recommended, I guess, as far as for, y'all to check that out. Let me move this over here. Alright, I'm gonna continue to monitor, I guess, as far as what's going on with my so we don't get any video freeze. I'm going to be very vigilant on that. The fact that I've totally removed the video capture option, I guess, as far as on the PC, between the whole stream in general. I'm 100% expecting not to have any, but if we do, obviously they're going to be much bigger problems. So if you find me doing that, I guess as far as throughout the stream, just a heads up on that. Alright, so that's about the Spline Design site. But, yeah, I feel like I would just put a shameless plug out there, I guess, as far as for the YouTube channel, be it Spline Designs, the J-Rock Nation. Also, when you go to the Spline Designs YouTube, you can get the J-Rock Nation, also the SPP channel as well. It's all looped and all interlinked together, so it's like if you need to get at any of that information as far as just content for gameplay, or if you're looking for information on 3ds Max, Sandbox, Enter 2003 editing in general, you'll be able to find all, if not everything, I guess, as far as between those 3 YouTube channels, SPP, JRAC Nation, and also Spline Design. So feel free to check that out and give it some love. Ooh, that was a pretty close one. And y'all getting close on the slots now. Bot's kind of teasing y'all a little bit. Hopefully, Bot will come around. Alright, so getting right back into this. We got some things that we want to edit here on the track. I think what I'll start off with first is cleaning my mess that I made at this point, I guess, as far as helping Torch out, at least trying to, with this grandstands texture. Now, this grandstand texture is pretty huge, but it's got a lot going on for it. So the fact that it does showcase, I guess, as far as and present all the elements to the grandstands and everything else in between, I guess, as far as the people around the track, as well as in the stands, Speedway Club, so on. So there's a big chunk of stuff going on with just this one texture. Much like a couple of other textures that are in the track, like the signage. And even the inner modelings as far as the walls and such like that. So the way Torch has got this done here, I don't think I could have done any better. I guess as far as to segregate that out and maximize the use of those textures as absolutely much as possible. Fantastic job on that. Snap. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Such a tease. That bot is such a tease today. Yeah, get it boozed up. Maybe that'll help. Get her boozed up. Alright, so yeah, I think that's what we're going to start with here, folks. Yeah, that's definitely, I think, what we're going to start here. Let me turn this off. I'm just going to shut some things off here just to ensure we don't have any problems throughout the stream. I'm still a little bit on edge, as to be expected, I guess, as far as some of the problems we've had in the past, and I just don't want that to happen again. I'm pretty confident we should not, but okay. So let's get right into this here. We're gonna so this is the flattened image for this texture, and I know Torch has probably got the layered deal, but just to kind of give everybody a kind of a clue, when you've got a texture that has transparency, you know, an alpha channel to it, like this one does. Now the fact that I've got this aqua looking blue type of thing, it's not necessary, especially the fact that we're considering not to compress it anymore. So that was something that was brought up last stream, I guess, as far as to whether or not to look at to see if it was necessary to uncompress this texture. And like I've already mentioned, you really don't gain that much more quality out of this one texture through all the items that are involved with it. So there's really no need to. It doesn't justify, I guess, as far as the size of the texture, the MIP file, to make it uncompressed. So, and I've already discussed that, I guess, as far as with Torch off stream. So yeah, we're just going to leave this one uncompressed, but we're going to clean it up a little bit, because I know I did kind of, I thought I had fixed it, I did not. But this is what would be considered the raw bitmap that you would open up with WinMip 2. And at this stage here, this should be the non-compressed version, right? So this is what Torch had already sent me from his layered template, more than likely. So this is before it gets compressed. So this is the one thing you want to take into consideration if you're opening up a MIP, right, in WinMip 2 that's already compressed. To try and clean that up, keep in mind that if it's already been compressed, it's going to compress it again when you remip it after making it into a bitmap or TGA. So that's something you got to keep in mind, I guess, as far as when you're opening a MIP texture that's already been compressed. When you're trying to clean it up there, it's going to compress it again. So if you have the raw file, or like what Torch does with this particular thing, and this is what I'm working with right now, I want the uncompressed version prior to, you know, running that through WinMip 2. So that's just a prerequisite, I guess, as far as what I'm doing here. So this texture is related is uncompressed. So this is based on the layered template of all the original layers, I guess, as far as it, Torch had sent that to me, and then I'm working with it, I guess, as far as from this step. So we're going to zoom in on this, and I can kind of give you an idea. It's really nice quality on this in here. So this is the uncompressed version of this, but it does have the proper amount of pixelization that you would need for trans areas to not get that that background bleed. So whatever texture or whatever color that you choose as your transparent color, it's not going to bleed through. So even as we can see right here, granted the background texture that we have for this is magenta. Doesn't matter which color you choose. You can see with what's already in here. So I'm just going to use these people as an example. You don't get any bleed of that whatsoever. All you see is that pixelized edge. And that's all you want. That's all you want to be able to have. So another thing I would not consider, and obviously this is probably a good point too, you would not want to TI this size of an image. That would make it gihungus to the point where it'll put way too much texture weight on that model and the track overall. So even with this one texture with no TI, it makes it about 10 megs. So just consider if you will that if you were to add a TI, if you were to TI this, Evan the Bandito, hello. What's going on? 3 months. 3 months with the, let me double check here. Was that the regular paid sub or was that the Twitch Prime? We always, regardless of that, that's, I just want to keep it in mind here. So that is with regular paid sub. Tier 1. Hello, 3 months. Appreciate that. Evan, how are we doing today? Howdy. You now have, Evan, you are now in the possession of a 3-month subscriber badge on the channel. GG's. GG's on the 3-month sub badge for the channel. Very much appreciated. And get some GG's, some hype. If you got the emotes, if you don't have the spam the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, spam the hype. Very much appreciated. Right on. Yeah, that's what I had to double check there to see. We very much appreciate it as far as the Twitch subs as well. So at any level, I guess as far as anybody subs to the channel. But the Twitch Primes, you could spend that anywhere on Twitch. And the fact that if you take the initiative, I guess as far as to spend that here on this channel, even more appreciated. You're, like I said, you're able to use that Twitch Prime anywhere, any channel. And the fact that you are gracious enough, I guess, as far as to share that here, I very much appreciate it. But yeah, definitely the GGs and the, he puts the rag down there. That's funny. You would do that there, wouldn't you, Evan? Rig, yeah. So, yeah, 3 months. That's pretty cool. So we obviously got some founders in here still. Torch and Eraser James. I don't know where all the other founders went. We're going back as far as a better part of 4 years. So the fact that the founders badges are the first 10 subs, I guess, as far as to the channel. So where those other people are, I couldn't tell you. But I know I'm glad to see, I guess, as far as at least a couple of those founders badges in the chat as well. Very cool. Okay. I lost my train of thought here. What I was doing here. Okay, we were editing this this texture of torches here. So this, again, what we're comparing as far as like how much clarity we get into this, even in a compressed fashion, right? With this background color, you can see the clarity that is in this deal, regardless of what distance. So if you're up close as opposed to further away, you don't see any bleed of that color, I guess, as far as coming through. And that's a lot of times, especially with something this big, this vast, of a texture, can be very hard to accomplish. But the fact that there are what I consider to be boogers in this texture, we want to clean this up here. We want to get all this nonsense out of there, because that looks horrible, and I totally blame myself for that. I think I might have set Torch wrong, I guess, as far as when I was assisting him, I guess, as far as helping out with either to compress this texture or to not. So the one I sent to him, it's just like, whoa. Post fact, I kicked myself, I guess, as far as I can't believe you just sent that to him. That's just yucky. Yeah, glad he got the stuff. I'm hoping, at least anyway, Evan, that's why I was mentioning in the first part of the stream. I'm hoping I got this figured out. The fact that I've totally, at this point, gotten rid of using the video capture, and we're using what's considered NDI, which is a network device interface. So basically, I'm reading the other PC as a network device. So, you know, on my own internal network here that I have between the two PCs, I'm able to have OBS from the streaming sense be able to read that other PC from every aspect, video, audio, everything. So no need for video capture. So this is something that I have used in the past with a laptop going back a couple years, and that seemed to work really good. And I did get some insight from John Von. He was just like, well, all you got to do is this. I'm just like, and when he gave me that insight, I'm just like, well, duh. Well, I didn't think of that. So taking a lot of the advice that John Von has given and the experience that I've had with using NDI with the laptop, you know, better part of a couple of years ago, this is what I've got going on here now. So I'm very well hoping, I guess, as far as this does not cause us any issues, and I will be very vigilant throughout the stream. It's going to be kind of a test stream here to see how this is all going to fall. What I still am not 100% sure is how the audios are going to come across on the gaming PC. So when we get into the sim, to be able to test the track out, which definitely going to get to that today, I want to be able to see how those audios come through. If they tend to reverb or tends to be an echo or anything like that, I want to be able to work out all those issues. It actually looks more clear. Right now I'm on what I consider to be the streaming PC. So if I switch this over to the, let me do this really quick. I'm going to switch it over to the gaming PC. And we'll check it out this way. This is on the gaming PC, right? So just for giggles here, let's go ahead and open up. I'll launch the sim just to kind of give you an idea of the clarity of it, and you all can be the judge. It amazes me, I guess, as far as how well this NDI works these days. The modern days of modern things with technology. Yeah, let me launch the sim. Let's go with this and see what this looks like. So I'm launching the sim. There might be a little bit of delay, as we always expect, I guess, as far as with it coming across stream. That's why I'm hesitating a little bit, I guess, as far as on my end. I don't need to do that, but I'm making sure that it is coming across. It's not all fuzzy. That's good. So this is all on the gaming PC, right? So what you're seeing right now on stream is the gaming PC. This is all through NDI. That network device interface. So just for the hell of it, let's go into testing. Oh, you know what? Better yet. So just to keep in mind, everything I'm showing you for the Texas build right now is not everything. Not everything as far as what we're gonna fix on stream. I guess as far as with the grandstands and the pit road dash lines. So just keep in mind, it's a majority of the changes that Torch has done prior to me fixing some of these things that I'm going through on stream today. So just full disclosure, full transparency. Let me go into actually single race, and we'll at least catch some AI going around the track. How about that? Alright. Get that to load up. So we got the flags, obviously, that's from a previous stream. You can see the helicopter is taking off, as it should be, as we redesigned it. There you go. So that's the graphical quality that you get, I guess, as far as with running. This is all off the gaming PC, like I say. So you might see a little bit of fuzziness, like in some textures, like of the infield. That is, just the way that texture is. I think it's still done very great. Don't get me wrong. The majority, when you consider the whole track in total, as far as what's going on with it, definitely shows. So if you do see a little bit of fuzziness, I guess, as far as in the infield, that's just the texture. That's just the way that texture is. Everything else and whatever is 1-to-1 aspect ratio, if you will. Alright, so let's actually let's grab a car that's going around the track. Check out these. There we go. We got Ryan Blaney going around the track. I know I don't have the sounds here. Let me do this too while we're in the sim here. Let me go ahead and kill the background sounds, and we're gonna check and see if we can get the sounds off of this guy. I may need to turn this up. Hold on a second. Un momento. So we should be able to get the sounds off of the sim. Let me go to TV2. TV2 is a good one. So you should be hearing the sounds, hopefully, off the sim itself. It's showing it's coming through, but if you're not hearing it, definitely let me know. You're kind of surprised how crystal clear compared to cap. Yeah, that's so the video at least anyway. But the other thing is, I guess while I got this open here, this is something else I didn't 100% get to test up until starting to stream today, is the audios. So the fact that there is audios showing on my end, at least anyway, coming out to stream, but y'all be the judge of it. If you're hearing any reverb or echo or anything like that, definitely let me know, because there's things that I can adjust. Sounded pretty good. Now I know the camera's kind of spawned out, so what I'll do is I'll actually focus on a car. So that's all like ambient, because of the way the camera's positioned. You're just getting like the the far away sound, I guess, as far as if you want to put it that way. Let's go right onto a in car. There's a lot of different cam views. So let's go inside the car. Let me know if that's too loud. Guess we'll test the sounds out to make sure. Is that too loud? Is that sounding good? Not too loud, not too bad. I know it sounds good on my end. You all let me know. If it is definitely too loud, not loud enough, let me know. So you get a chance to get to see some of the AI going around the track. So we're in the cockpit of Ty Dillon in the 42 car. You can kind of get a perspective, I guess, as far as from in-car. Now we don't take any credit at all for the mod that we're running here. As far as this NASCAR Cup Series 22, this is done by Full Circle Racing Design. My bad. Thomas would kick my rear end if I said that wrong. Apologize for that, Thomas. I guess as far as for those like Thomas and that over at Full Circle Racing Designs that have put this mod together. Pair it up, I guess, as far as with a scratch-built version, I guess, of the Texas Motor Speedway. It's just so good. Bit quiet. Well, with voiceover, it's perfect. Nice. All right. So that's what I was kind of worried about. I know on my end it's maybe a little bit louder than y'all can hear. But I've never liked the games in general to be overpowering, I guess, as far as when I talk, right? Because then I feel like I'm trying to scream over the actual video. So as long as you all can get a hint, I guess, of the audios coming off there, that's all NDI. This is all NDI. So, yeah, let me switch the views, I guess, as far as to chase view. So you get a little bit outside the car. You get all the different levels of audio, I guess, as far as you can get from... So this, I'm not 100% sure if it's a fictional car or not. I know Ty Dillon is an actual driver, but I don't know if this car has been painted up as a fictional. Can't 100% confirm or deny. So these cars get pretty strung out, I guess, as far as once they get a few laps into them. But you can see as you kind of pan forward, I guess, as far as ahead of this car, they do tend to race each other too. So let's kind of go through the field here. You can see some of them will tend to try to race each other. 61 is trying to catch the this purple car, I guess, in front of him, trying to catch the number. I want to say this one's probably a fictional. So a lot of the people that are involved with the build of these types of mods tend to put themselves as a driver. I know an AI, I guess, as far as in these car sets, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if that's the case with this one or not. Again, can't confirm or deny, but it's definitely not a driver that I recognize. The capture card had this weird fuzz in it. I wouldn't doubt it. I definitely wouldn't doubt it. It's hard for me to really tell at this point. What I do tend to like from what I can see on my end, hopefully you guys are able to see it the same way. I'm seeing a 1-to-1 comparison, I guess, as far as on stream. As I am on 720 60 frames, 720p 60 frames. There's really no degradation from what I see on my monitor in comparison to what it's on stream. So that's a huge plus, I guess, as far as what that goes, at least anyway. Yeah, still same bitrate. Yeah, same bitrate as I was. Nothing changed on that. The only thing that's changed is just the removal and the non-use of the video capture. It's all NDI. Hey, he's passing Fred. He's trying to pass Fred anyway, so you can see a little bit of race side-by-side action here. This is all in practice, by the way. But see, they do tend to race each other, I guess, as far as... So Fred gave him room. He's like, yeah, I see you're faster than me, so I'll let you go. It's not always like that, though. Sometimes these AI don't want to give up their spot, and they do get into each other. And I think that's the really cool balance with the way this track is AI is designed. Is it's very random, I guess, as far as what the way the AI will respond. No pixelation in our fuzzy text anymore. Nice. Right. A lot of that might have to do with just my overall graphics for the sim itself. I know I had previously, prior to having all this, you know, the video capture problems, I thought maybe it might have had something to do with having too much graphics, I guess, as far as being applied to the sim. So this is more kind of a medium setting, not really extreme, you know, as far as the highest setting you can get on the sim. And I'm going to be testing this with other games too, to see how much I can push it or have to step it back a little bit, just to get that proper balance, I guess, as far as on stream. But there you have it. We have, let's go, we got anybody that's pitting? Let's see. Some really cool, so we got Cosman's, one of Splash and Go's schemes, I guess, as far as in here. That's one of Cosman's. Yep. He's a really good friend of ours in the Enter 2003 community, I guess, as far as that huge contributor, I guess, as far as to them. He's also an iRacer, so he contributes to both Enter 2003 and iRacing in the form of car skins and mods. Splash and Go, Cosman over at Splash and Go, and everybody involved with Cosman over at Splash and Go has put out many mods, I guess, as far as for Enter 2003. The Winston Cup 98 mod, the revamp, I guess, as far as of the original Cup Series mod for Papyrus, just to name a couple. So the fact that he's been involved somewhat, I guess, as far as with the build of this mod, not to the degree, he's totally humble, I guess, the fact that he had very little to do with it, this mod, as far as this NASCAR Cup Series 22 mod, at all. He gives a lot of credit to Full Circle Racing Designs, I guess, as far as for doing such a fantastic job on the way this mod performs. Looks and sounds perfect. That's good. Right. You know, so the fact that if you're not experiencing any dithering, that's going to be what can be considered dithering. A lot of fast-moving games tend to have that problem. NDI, from what I've seen so far, and I think, again, this is a test that we're experiencing here as far as to see just how well this NDI works. This whole setup, I guess, as far as what the NDI actually will work for somebody that is considering to get a video capture card or not. So it's probably a fair mention that one of the things I was considering with having all the problems with video capture before considering this method was to go with an Aver Media card, which is, you know, it's kind of along the same lines for most would probably understand it better, I guess, as far as like an Elgato. That's hardware. This is as far as for the PC that you would actually apply directly to the motherboard. That's another thing. So that's something that is still highly revered. It is still a very high quality option for the top tier, I guess, as far as types of streamers, but it's becoming more and more evident. Okay, so the practice is already over. I know, I was just noticing that. So we'll get out of this. We'll go into happy hour. But yeah, the Aver Media card is still a strong choice, I guess, as far as just like the Elgato, which is a little bit more premium, I guess, as far as depending on who you talk to. But that was something I was considering prior to actually going this route with the NDI. So I think I'm going to probably stick with this as long as it you know, tends to work out. I mean, that's just that simple. But anyway, as I'm going through all these screens, so you obviously saw some racing, I guess, as far as on track, even with it being still. you can see the clarity. At least I'm hoping you do. As far as the clarity that it's in the graphics, and as well as the sounds that go with it. Cool. Right on. So just making sure I'm not missing anything in chat. I appreciate all the insight, I guess, as far as anybody, you know, checking this out here, because this is kind of, so Torch says he's not seen any fuzz or anything like that either. That's good. Glad to hear that, because, really hoping that this, does tend to be the option for not only on Saturdays, but all the streams here on the channel. All the streams here on the channel. Yeah, so you can see the transition of the AI when they come out of the pits. That was something else I wanted to show. A lot of all these types of things have already been tweaked on to ensure, I guess, as far as the AI perform, you know, somewhat reasonably. Appreciate the spray, I guess, as far as for the horse fart. Yeah, the fact that I did get to catch, I guess, as far as some of John Von's. John Von Zombie is the one who has given us the privilege of using that sound alert, I guess, as far as for the horse fart. And he was having a little bit of trouble earlier when I was watching his stream, I guess, as far as with some Elden Ring. I guess one of his buttons on his controller had broken, and he was feeling pretty sad because he felt the stream was ruined, I guess, as far as with not being able. He had to play with keyboard and mouse instead of his controller because of that button breaking. So I had to go over there and give him a little bit of crap, I guess, about. So anyway, this is something that we'll be looking forward to, I guess, as far as once I get some of the stuff done with the editing of things. So we're gonna get into that for just a bit. Let's go ahead and back out of this. Yep, so there you go. I'm going to get the background music's back going here again. There we go. And yeah, we'll be getting back to this shortly, I guess, as far as to do some racing ourselves here. Super fun track to race and just drive on in general. You're going to hop on FS and make some more glass. Hey, do what you need to. You know what you got to do, right? There's probably some silage there in the fermenter. You probably sell that if we don't need to make any more methane, I guess. Yeah, feel free to let me know how that's going there, Evan. I'll probably be getting on there later too. So for anybody that wasn't aware, let me switch this over real quick. Alright, so for anybody that wasn't aware, I guess, as far as that, I had, so this past Friday, yesterday, wow, days. Yeah, so the fact that we did do some firming over on the Western Wilds. Evan has provided a server, I guess, for us to play on the Western Wilds. I did not stream it because I was still working out some of the issues, I guess, as far as with that, and finally got, hopefully, from the sounds of it, from what you all have confirmed for me, I guess, as far as I think I've got that all figured out so far. So by next Friday, we should be streaming with Evan on the Western Wilds, I guess, as far as we've got the farm pretty well set up there. We got 2 areas of grass set up, making ourselves some silage, and also to be able to put in to the production for methane, be able to make methane and put that into gold production. So yeah, good stuff. So if you want to catch any of that gameplay of the Western Wilds there on the on Fridays, 5 p.m. I need to get my schedule redone too. This is something else I haven't done as of yet because I wasn't sure how this was going to work out so far. So yeah, I'll be updating the schedule to make sure that everybody knows that. Exactly. We'll be dropping the hammer, especially, I guess, as far as on Fridays and all the streams coming up next week. If all this works out for us today, we'll definitely be right back on schedule, I guess, as far as with all the streams as we were. The only difference is, instead of at 2, like Farming Fridays were, it'll be at 5. So that's about the only change that I can mention right off the bat. So instead of being as early as 2, it'll be at 5. And we went pretty long yesterday, I guess, as far as it was next to midnight, I think, as far as we started at 5, and I think we went to almost midnight. So we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in there. So hopefully y'all all join us there on Fridays, as far as, and you can enjoy our hijinks, as far as playing some Furman. But yeah, if you got any questions there, Evan, I guess as far as while you're doing some of the work there on the farm with the grass, just let me know. So even as I'm not playing on there, so I'm just panning around, I guess, as far as to see any other potential issues that we have, and I don't think there is. Other than that, this still kind of stands out to me right here, and we'll get into that here in a moment. I'm going to keep it on this, so we'll get back into editing our texture and the process you can do for that. So just to kind of go over this, this is the uncompressed version of this layer template for this texture and the models related to it. And that's kind of a fair mentioning, as far as that. You don't want to try and clean up a compressed file, a texture that's already been compressed. It's going to be much harder, I guess, as far as to get that cleaned up, because it's already been compressed. Because even when you do try to clean it up, it's going to compress it again, and it's going to make it even more not so quality. So just keep that in mind. But we are working with one that is totally quality, and I'm going to clean out some of these boogers, as I like to call it, and get these all cleaned up here. All right, so the first step I want to do before going this route is I want to remove this background color, this light blue. I want to get that out of there. So the way I do this is not the only way you can do it. This is the way I like to do it. Consider the size of this image. In this case, it should be a 2048 by 2048. I'm going to make a new image the same size. For some, it might be a review for this. For some, it might be a little bit of clarity as far as how this type of thing works. But what you can do once you establish a new texture the same size as this original, what I like to do, some people like the magic wand. Sometimes that doesn't get it all out. So what I like to do is the eyedropper, make both my foreground and my background color the same color, right? And this is all in Paint Shop Pro 7. I should probably full disclosure on that too. So depending on which version of paint program that you're using, might be a little bit different process. But for Paint Shop Pro 7, you make whatever color that you want to make transparent. Choose that as your foreground and your background, right? And then do on the texture. You can do it one of two ways. I'll just do it this way. So I'll do a select all. I want to copy that, right? Then we can deselect that, and then go over to your new image that's the same size and do an edit paste as transparent selection. So by doing that, what that's going to do, anything that you had chosen over here is going to be removed. So what happened here when I moved that over there, it changed this color, so I'm going to redo that. Kind of goof. So I was still on eyedropper, so it's probably a fair mention to take it off the eyedropper and say like go on the marquee or something different than the eyedropper. Otherwise, when you try to bring it back over to your new image, it might change both of these, so you want to keep that in mind. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and redo that again. So we make sure both the foreground and the background are the same color that we want transed out. Bring over to here. I'm just going to do it this way. We'll do a copy this. So you can either do the selections with select all, or just do an edit copy that whole image, bring it over here, edit paste as a transparent selection, bring it right over. Now the other thing I like to do is just to make absolute sure that it's in the proper position. And again, this is all going to be dependent upon what paint program that you're using. The fact that I'm using Paint Shop Pro, it does not give me an image to snap it like it does, say, like in Photoshop. So what I do is I come in here and get as close as possible to ensure the marquee of this selection is directly in that corner like so. So once I can confirm that marquee is in at least one corner, I know that is in the exact same spot as the original. So now we've got the same image with that color stepped out of it, and now we can clean up whatever else we need there. Now what I do also with this new image is to add what is going to be the background color. In this case, I'm going to use magenta. And again, I'm only doing that since we are considering the fact that we're not going to add any compression to this, so there's no need to change to any other color other than magenta, because we get no texture bleed. So we're going to change this to magenta which is pink if you want to, depending on, again, what you want to consider. So, but the technical term, I guess, as far as for this color is magenta. So we're going to make that as its own layer behind that, right? So what we want to do all of our corrections on is actually the main texture here, right? So once we get done with this, we'll be able to flatten that down and bring it over to the original deal, save that, and then remip it with the proper compression, and then we'll take a look and see what it looks like in the track. Again, I want to confirm, I guess, as far, this is not absolutely the most only way you can do it. This is just one way to do it, and for me, I feel it works pretty well. All right, so what we want to do is get zoomed in here really good and see all these little boogers that are in here. We want to clean those up. We want to get those cleaned up. So we can do this a couple of different ways. Let's try grab this color. We can do a bucket fill. I'm going to change my tolerance. Yep, it's good. And we can just fill these things in. Now, if I do one section of this, once I get some of that done, I can always go, whoop, we don't want to do that. Filter in. Whoa, horsey on that one. Alright, so we also need to change my brush size. That one looks good. We'll keep it on that color. And we're just going to clean this up a little bit. So this is what I had done, what I thought I had sent to Torch. And I noticed post-fact after I sent it, it's like, oh, that wasn't the right one. And I don't know what happened to the one I had cleaned up. So I figured if nothing else, we'll just do it right here in stream. Oh, and a lot of shenanigans to put up with, right? Yeah, we got plenty of clips there that we had for the playthrough yesterday, that's for sure. On both our parts. So it's not just firming, folks. I see plenty of shenanigans too. And it doesn't happen on purpose, it just kind of happens on by accident a lot of times. Lots of times this happens on by accident. Okay, so see, this one's got a shorter distance, I guess, as far as between the rails. Okay. That's something I'm taking a note here. I don't want to copy this section and be able to paste it in. So what I want to do is actually fill as much of this in as possible, clean it up. And it may be kind of hard to tell, I guess, as far as what is he actually editing. Look like I'm doing anything, but trust me, I am. Definitely am. Okay, got that much. What I'm thinking we could do, and again, keep in mind, I'm gonna turn this one off just to kind of show you. So this is separate. You know, that background magenta color is totally separate, a separate layer. I'm just using that for a little bit of clarity to be able to see what I'm editing. So it gives me a little bit of contrast between what I'm trying to edit and the background. But that's essentially what it's going to look like as far as once it's all done, and we compress it down, flatten it up, and bring it over to our original image, or an original texture. Okay? So, let's go ahead, in this layer, I want to copy this little chunk here that I just edited. Like so. Copy that. So, there's a lot of repetition in the way this railing goes. So, instead of going to each one here and cleaning it up, like I did these first few poles here, I can just copy a chunk of that, paste that over to the other areas I need some little bit of love. Wow. Alright, so the bot went completely it steered clear, I guess, as far as doing any close to a jackpot. That's kind of where I'm. Alright, so let's do. Oh, I guess I did get a little bit of the people up there. I just noticed that. See that up at the top there? It's a little bit of a booger there. So I'll reselect that. I don't know. Some people tend to call it differently. I like to call it when there's too much. If there's elements or artifacting, I guess, as far as the texture that I'm trying to create there, that doesn't belong there, I just tend to call them boogers. Like, you need to get rid of that. It's like you clean your nose out, I guess, as far as you want to get the boogers out of your nose. It's like you need to get the boogers out of the texture. Some might think of that somewhat offensive or whatever, but whatever. It's not derogatory, I don't feel. Okay. Cool, that should be better, so we'll copy that. And we'll paste that over to this segment right over here. But we haven't been able to do a lot of this type of stuff in a while here on the channel. And it's a good time, I guess, as far as to be able to do that. Okay, I see what's going on there. Okay, so I got a better idea. Let's do this. I'm gonna keep that selected on the board, but I'm gonna select this. I'm not gonna copy it. Chunk that right out. I'm gonna repaste it. Still got that selection. That'll do it. Full names. Okay, and I still got this selection still on the clipboard, right? So now what I can do is just go from this one to that one. I'm gonna chunk this guy out. Yeah, we'll chunk it out with that. Oh wait, we don't want to get rid of the people's feet. Gotta be careful with that. Watch the people's feet. There we go. Now I can do edit paste. Put that where that pole is right about there. Marvelous. So it'll end up changing the spacing for it a little bit, but I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. So that pole, I know I had it right about there. Kind of eyeballing it, actually. Okay. Marvelous. Okay, let's see. I don't want to get too carried away with this, but kind of get the idea, hopefully. Yep. We are changing the spacing there just a little bit, which I don't think is terrible. I'm going to remove that pole. It's out of alignment there, but I'll leave the rest of that. Just get rid of this. And we'll definitely be able to take a look and see how this looks once we get it all redone. I think in general it should be okay. You know what? That's a little bit off there on the top. Let's see. I see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, so it's a little bit off here on the top, so I'm going to shave this off here just a little bit. Kind of straighten that up. Oops. Quite get it, I don't think. Oh, I want to cut their feet off. There we go. Oh, just gotta clean that up a little bit. Sweet. Now, so hopefully, I don't know if that's going to change the spacing on this. Is there a particular amount of spacing? If there is, then you can already see there was a pole here. Okay. Well, if it screws up, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll make sure we fix it. So we need to go, hold on, go all the way down to here. Okay, so we definitely need to end with a pole like that. That's first and foremost. I have it 100% turn or whatever that. So the way it has to be. If we don't end that way, we'll have to kind of force it that way. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'll keep this one pole. I'm gonna take out from here. Yeah. Let me try to do a magic wand. That's going to select all the way down. Just don't want that part. Okay, hold on. Let's chunk this end out. I got an idea. I want to keep this one pole. This is where we need to end it. Let's do that. So we're going to keep that one there. And chunk the rest of this out. So we're gonna magic wand this. Like so. Now I still got that selection. Yeah, see now you can see all the boogers. And because of the color of what I just stepped out there, now you can see what's actually all boogered in there. So I think what I'll do here to clean that up here, I'll just go ahead like this. Yeah, the fact that the color that I had the magic wand set to actually leaves all the stuff that we actually need to get out. Okay. This is one way to go about cleaning up any artifact, just stuff that you don't want. Just unwanted noise, I guess, as far as in your in your texture. So there you go. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. And then we still got, like I said, we still got that selection for the railing still on the clipboard. So we'll do a paste selection. Go. Now we can continue on. Like so. So rather than to, oops, I got a little bit of boogers left in there. Some boogers left in here yet. No more cleanup to do. So instead of going like I was mentioning before, so go to each pole all the way down that stretch there and doing one individually, that would take too much time. So this is a little bit quicker way to do that. Makes it a little bit more efficient anyway. Okay, I think we got it all. So we're leaving that pole in there just to kind of know where we need to end. I'm assuming, based on the way the model is textured in UV map, that's where the wireframe actually ends there. So we want to use that. We want to maintain that. Okay. Oh yeah. Now that we got that selection already in here, we can just all the way work our way all the way to the end of that. Makes it a little bit quicker. And then if you want to get really brave about it, you can go ahead and select a bigger portion of this, like so. Making sure that we only get just the railing. Copy that, and then continue with that one. Oh, your wrist. Ooh, you got 28 on the wrist. Nice. And you got, you did good with the scold. So the bot was being a little bit generous on the scold. It's not always that way. Seems to be coming around. Yeah, that'll work. Marvelous, okay. So now we got a new selection on their clipboard that has that bigger selection. We're just continuing to work our way over to that last pole. And I'm using what I've already got laid down as a guide as to, keep it lined up properly. Alright, let's see how this is going to work. We're going to be a little bit too long, but that's fine. So we'll be able to scale this back a little bit. And fill in that void. Fill in the difference. Right about there. Cool. And then we can fill in this difference here. I think that's the way the other end starts here. Yep, it's got this little bit here. That's almost the same on both ends now. So to me, that's symmetrical. That's what we call symmetrical. Got the same amount of space on both ends. So if you were to fold that in half, probably line up perfectly like a book. Otherwise symmetrical. Alright, so I think the way I'll go about this is I want to maintain that pole. I already got somewhat all the boogers cleaned out of it. Let's clean this pole up here just a tad. Yep, so we just need to clean it up just a little bit. There we go. Marvelous. Okay, and then what I'll do, let's do it this way. We'll go ahead and grab this bar. Show. Copy that. How's our, so we're a little over an hour. That's cool. No video freeze. Good deal. Alright, paste. Oh, crap. I didn't do that right. Whoopsie. Alright, so I guess I didn't select it the way I thought. So I need to select this piece right here. Copy that. Now we got a new selection on our clipboard. Paste as selection. There we go. So we just want to fill this in there like so. So we got, yep, much like the same here. I'm going to have to trim this down just a little bit. Keep it all nice and level. Alright, make sure we're not cutting the people's feet off. Want to do that. Okay, now I still got that selection on the clipboard. Paste another new selection and just fill these bars in. Yeah, so some of these are obviously a little bit thinner and thicker. I'll have to fix that one up a little bit. No problem. You can do that. Just to fill it in. Okay, I'll just take our. We can do. Let's grab our line draw here. Go to width of 1. Still got that color, the same color we've been working with. We'll just fill that in, just like so. Just like that. Cool. And just like that, we have the railings cleaned up. Now, the other thing I did notice with this one here, I'm just gonna kind of look over this. Yeah, so we got about the same amount of gap on both ends, and like I said, that's kind of more symmetrical now with the way the approach we took to that. I don't know if that's necessarily the same way Torch did it. There's definitely no wrong or right way of doing it. What I did notice, there was some change in thickness, I guess, as far as from one end to the other. So there might have been a little bit of skewing, I guess, as far as with that. But we just with that little bit of adjustment to the texture, we corrected all that. It's that simple. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of look through here. I'm gonna turn off this background color and just look to see if we've got any colors that we don't want in there. So like these types of areas like that we want to take out. Okay, let's it's a tolerance on, it's on 0. We actually want to bump this up to 10. We want to focus just on this magenta. So like areas like that, if we want to get rid of that, we can do that. Not too bad there. We got some areas like this. I mean, it's not really that big of an issue, but I mean, since we're already in here, we're gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Get some of these, take care of some of these things. Far so good. Doesn't look terrible at all. Yeah, so like this part right there. Oops. I'm gonna zoom in really good on this here. Get some of that out of there. I mean, this is kind of really, I don't know, it's minuscule. It's not probably 100% necessary, but you know, when you're this far into checking out your textures, you know, kind of makes good sense, I guess, as far as just to kind of see what you can clean up and what you can't, and whether or not it's necessary. Just like that. There we go. And kind of leave some of that in there. Some of that you're probably not going to really see all that much, because even if you look at the texture here, or it's been touched up, you're not really going to see a lot of that. Now, the railings will be fixed up there, that's for sure, once we reflatten this up here and resave the MIP. But yeah, you can't even see a lot of that I'm taking out, even looking it up close, whether from a distance. So I think we're going to be alright with that. Be good to go. I think for the most part, the texture is very well cleaned up to give it, you know, quite a bit of random. I think that's the other thing too, the fact you got a lot of randomness, I guess, as far as to it. It doesn't look like, you know, so as you look up and down these stands here, nothing really stands out to say like it's repetitive, no matter what direction you look at it. And I think that's pretty cool too. A lot of randomness, I guess, as far as to it. That's something very hard to accomplish sometimes too when it comes to this type of application. Okay. Cool. We're making good progress here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to consider this to be done. So we cleaned up our railing, which was the main part that needed to be fixed. Now we're going to bring back that magenta background. We're going to flatten this. Right? And then we're going to copy all that and paste it over to our original texture. Now I'm going to do this as a new layer, so it puts it right in the same spot. Right? So with that new layer that we brought over, and we'll go ahead and flatten that down and make a new MIP out of it. Love that overlay as far as for that horse part now. Welcome to Fifth to Pit Line. Yeah, I think I was going to get to that too there, Torch. That's what I was saying. I think while I've got this open, I know you've done an absolute incredible amount of work on this so far, I guess, as far as since from the start. And I figured a lot of this little nitpicky stuff, it's like, you know, I need something to show on stream too, I guess, as far as just how easy or difficult, you know, the difficulty of fixing certain things like that, how that is anyway. So instead of just making you do it at this point, you've done a lot, I guess, as far as especially to get those medallions that we gone over last stream. Yeah, just taking some of that burden off, at least anyway. I got no problem with that at all. The main thing you want to keep in mind when you're working collaboratively with the track build is to make sure the original track builder doesn't have something in the, you know, in the form of PTF edits prior to doing that. Because if there's edits that have been done prior to what you're doing, that's gonna not mesh, I guess, as far as with what you're doing in comparison to what the original creator's doing. You definitely want to keep that in mind. You gotta, you know, so part of the collaboration, you got to be in communication with, okay, what have you done to the PTF? So that if I can do this without stepping on what you've done, then that's what you want to keep in mind. Okay. All right, so we got this texture brought over in a new layer. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten this one now. So that's the main texture. This is our new texture with the magenta. That's as far as our transparent color. And we'll be able to make a new MIP out of that. Yeah, the fact that you, it's probably a fair mention here, folks. I know Torch has been trying to make this an absolute final, I guess, as far as for the last 2 weeks. So the fact that this latest PTF that he sent me, final, it's actually got final in the PTF. It's like, in his, and I get it, in your case and whatever you want to get this done so much, and it's like, it's totally understandable. It's been a better part of a year and a half, maybe a little bit more, to get it to this point. You know, but the fact is, you know, you're taking into consideration as far as any little anomalies that might exist to that, you know, you're putting so much into it, whether or not you want to go that far to fix it. Now, so when I say that, the fact that there was such an issue with the medallions in turn 1 and turn 4, the fact that you took that extra mile to actually make it look good and not just be like, well, this is what it is. Some people would necessarily just, you know, wash their hands of it and be like, I'm done, I'm not doing it anymore, I've done all I want to do. But the fact that's saying something for your initiative, I guess, as far as to take, you know, to heed like that. You've done all this work. It's just like, I don't want it, one little thing like that, you know, as far as the way these medallions were setting, to make or break the track. So we're going to be checking this out in the sim once you get there. But as far as what you did here, as I said, all that, this is one of them that has been corrected since last stream, between the shadow itself, the medallion shadow, and the way these medallions, the set, actually works here. So, and I haven't looked at it, you know, completely here, but from what I can tell, what you've done with this set here and the one in turn 4, you've made more of a model with this medallion and the wall, right? And then just scaled back, I guess, as far as the geometric wall to fit that in there. So correct me if I'm wrong. Definitely call me out. So we're gonna be taking a look at this texture here in a minute, as far as how he's done this now, I guess, as far as for just this set, this medallion set in turn 1 and in turn 4. It's completely, I shouldn't say completely, but it's kind of partially modeled, and it also has its own texture in comparison to the other medallion sets that are around the track. And that's to correct this problem that exists, I guess, as far as with it being either too far set in or out when you go into the sim versus in the sandbox. So yeah. Yeah, so that was the other thing too. Get eager to get that other PC going. So putting a period on this one here, but even with all that going on your end, the fact that you still took the initiative, you know, because the track has come so far, to actually, you know, be like, nope, I'm not doing it. I got my new PC, I'm done, blah blah blah. And, you know, you did take the time to do it. So that's what I can appreciate. There's a difference between sandbox and the yeah. It's a medallion with wall parts. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be taking a closer look at this in a moment, until I can make my new texture, and we're gonna really take a in-depth look at how you actually done that. From what I can see from the texture by itself, the model and the texture, I can get some of an idea of what approach you took to that. So even in Sandbox here, where you don't see, you see a little bit of an offset. See? Yeah, so let me kind of line this up here. So you can see an offset, I guess, as far as on this medallion, especially on the top end here. When you go in the sim, it's more lined up perfect. About as perfect as you can get it, I guess, as far as the way the geometric walls will render in the sim. So that was what I was kind of hinting on, I guess, as far as when I tried to describe or explain that last week. As far as sometimes you do have to offset the model piece to accommodate, I guess, as far as the way the geometric pieces will render. And like I said, we'll be taking a look at that in the sim here in a moment once I get this texture fixed up here for the grandstand, and also fix those pit lines there on pit road. Alright, so what we've got here, this is all flattened. I need to save this texture, and I'm going to save right over this one that's in the original one that Torch sent me. So again, it's still uncompressed, right? This one's still going to be uncompressed for now until we create the MIP for it. So we still got that uncompressed version here in our edit folder. So this is the latest and greatest, I guess, as far as what we got from Torch. Save that. Now we should be able to go into our edit folder and confirm that's the new texture. That's the one we just saved. So now we want to open this up in WinMIP 2. Alright, so open with MIP 2, and let's get this open. So we want to navigate over to that, where that folder file is. Okay, that'll be the 6.1 folder, and there's the bitmap. Open that up. Now it's a pretty beefy texture. Keep in mind you're gonna have to scroll over to get to where you need to get it to make it a MIP, and it also has trans, so we got to keep that in new account. So I'm going to first change it to a MIP. Okay, scroll it over, and to get that what color we want it to be transparent, we got to mouse point over the color we want it to be transparent, left shift, and click, and confirm up here in the corner that we do have that swath. So this is going to be the color that's going to be transparent, made transparent, right? And we can see our texture has been all cleaned up on the railings, and then in the areas that we did clean up in the peoples. But mostly the railing is what we did. And I didn't see any problem with the supports on the grandstand here, but we'll take a look at that as far as once we compile this one too. In fact, we can look at Sandbox right now. Right meow. See if we got anything that needs to be cleaned up on these supports for the... And it doesn't look like it. Nope, these look pretty good. So yeah, we don't need anything cleaned up on that, so we're good to go. Right, so just to confirm. So let's go ahead and compile this MIP, and it's going to take a while because it is a pretty beefy texture, but it is going to be compressed at this point. Save as, and we're going to overwrite this guy. And we'll have to bring that over to our edit folder. So we're going to give this a second. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. Let it go through its thing. Ooh, there's... Oh, damn. You almost got one there. Missed it by one emote. That bot, I'm telling you, he's all over the place right now. Alright, we are... Where are we? Hour 25 minutes in. We're doing good. We're doing good. No video freeze yet, and we're hoping it stays that way. Chicks and drink. There you go. Righto. Alright, so we got our new MIP already compiled. I'm going to close this out. Now we need to bring that MIP that we just compiled and bring that over to our edit folder. Track edit folder right in here. And then we're going to need to reload the track. We're going to need to reload this track to be able to get this new texture to show. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a new. Reopen this up, and then we're going to do this final one that Torch has given us. And there we go. Track is reloaded. Now we should be able to take our texture, and we should be able to see that nice and cleaned up now. If we did everything correctly. Look at that. Lovely. So I think it did probably add with the compression. It did add a little bit of a boogering to it, but I don't think it is as terrible. We'll check it over here. So keep in mind that when you do compress it, it's going to add a little bit of boogering. So I think that's going to be somewhat acceptable. It's probably about as best we're going to get it, to be honest. So you saw the whole process that I went through, I guess, as far as to get that cleaned up there. And I think this is the result. That is not as terrible, I don't feel. It's got a little bit in there, but I think it's tolerable. It's definitely tolerable. Now let me take a look. I'm going to reopen the texture in WinMap 2 here real quick, just to get a gander at how it actually saved. I believe I did have all the settings correct, and I think that's might be where I screwed up in the first place when I tried to send it to Torch. Probably. Look at that, now it went the other way. You dirty rascal. It's totally toying with you now. Yeah, so it did save it with the magenta background and all the settings that we set it with. So nothing went wrong there, so that's good. So that is what is going to happen when we compress this texture. It's going to add a little bit of... so this is the compressed texture that I got open in WinMap 2. And really hard to tell on the railings here, but you get that little bit of bluing on some of the edge of these supports for the railing anyway. And I don't think it's too bad. I think it's pretty reasonable. Right, so that is a brand new compressed grandstand for that. So I think even from a distance as opposed to up close, it's pretty decent, I'd have to say. Yep. Cool. But that is, as they say, the best it's going to get. Alright, so with all that done, let's take a look at... And I know I'm beating around the bush a little bit, I guess, as far as getting to how Torch has got those medallion sets, I guess, in turn 1 and 4. But we're going to fix some of these issues so I don't forget that I know are evident as well. So this miscuing of the dash lines here on pit road, I'm gonna tackle that next. See what we got going on with it. Let's just see here. Alright, so what we need to do to get into that, zoom in on pit road here in sandbox. And that's all going to be F sections. So the area that we're seeing that problem is right about here. You can see it right there. So it is between segments. That should be more than easy to be able to adjust if it happens to be at the head and a tail of a segment, which these does seem to be the case. Alright, cool. Let's see here. So in fact it is on the head and the tail of one segment. Interesting. Alright, cool. So it's all happening within one segment here anyway. Alright, let's see what we can do with it though. So let's look at the texture properties of this texture, which happens to be, now this right now is on asphalt. We need the dashed line. We're gonna go left. Oh, we need to go right, my bad. And we need this pit lines. That's the one we need. So it has a skew on the V here of 10. Let me go forward here. That one's got a minus 4.7. 10. I'm just seeing what the differences are between them all. Okay. Yep. That seems reasonable, I guess, as far... Now, what you have to consider, I guess, as far as... And this is what I was looking at. What you have to consider when you're applying these textures in here is the size of the segment. So if the segment is bigger or smaller is going to determine how big the texture sizes you're going to have to make that to make it look even all the way throughout all the segments, right? And that's what's going on here. This one's at a texture size of 6. This one's at a 3 because it's a bigger segment. Let me pan out on this. So this is a lot bigger segment. It's more than twice as big as this segment here, right? And then the one previous to that, let's go back this way, same thing. So the fact that this segment is way smaller than the ones that are flanking this segment here, that's the reason why this one's a much bigger texture size. Otherwise, if you were to put this at a 3, same as the rest of them, it's going to be misscaled. So just to kind of show you, and that's normal, that's what would happen. So you have to consider the size of the segment from head to tail as to what size your texture size is going to be. So if we were to set this to a 3, let's see what I'm talking about. See how it's way too small? So we can do one of two things here. We can either go bigger on the texture size or skew it. as far as on this 10 value. We can do one either way. We'll just see, we'll play around with this and see how we can get this balanced out here. So let's put it back to a 6. And we can see where that lands. That's the original deal. Now we can either adjust the texture size. Let's just bump it up to say 650. We can do something like that. It's still not quite lining up. So you can play around with this like that. Or you can reskew it. Let's try to do it this way. So we can go back or forward with this. So that's going backwards. If we make this smaller, so go 9, it's going to go forward. So what's going to look better? That's the question. If we can get this to line up here, I think that would be our best option there. I think if we can get this to line up with that one there, and this not show a little sliver up here, I think we'll be good to go. Let's see here, if we go 8, 7, 5, we'd have to scoot this one up. Okay. We would have to go into this segment here and scoot that up there to get rid of this little bit of a gap. Oops. Zoom in on this. I can see what I'm talking about. So we got a little bit of gap in this segment, which is on the tail of that previous segment. So if we scoot this one up, or we can just continue to play around with this texture size to get this to butt up with that. Okay. I'm going to keep it zoomed in. Whoop, try to keep it zoomed in on this so you can see what's going on both the head and tail. So this is the head. That's the tail. Okay. So let's just keep. I put Z's in here. My bad. So I was pushing Z while I was in there, and that's why I was like, why is it not zooming in? All right. Let's keep it at 875. We're going to go 6.05. Okay, we need to go smaller. So let's go 5.95. Okay, that's not quite right. You can see it's still got a gap here. So I think regardless of what we do to have anything coming on the head, we're still going to have to scoot this one up a little bit. Okay, that's what I'm coming to the conclusion of. So we're going to leave this at a 6. Like there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scoot this guy up on this other segment. I think that'll work out good. And then we don't have to worry about anything on this end. We're going to scoot this guy up just a tad. And hopefully, now the fact that this segment ends where? Where's that segment at? That ends all the way over here. So what we want to pay attention to when we skew this up, that we don't get a sliver right on this head. That's the only thing we've got to pay attention to. So we're going to go back to this one. That's the asphalt. We want to make sure we got the pit lines. This one. So that's on a 3. It's not skewed at all. Let's we need to go forward on it, so we need to go -1. I think. Yes, we need to scoot it forward. So probably not that far though. We only need to go probably half a meter. Let's go -0.5. Just to bump that up. So now we'll take a look at the other end. Right over here, and that should blend right in now. Now we can continue to play around with this to make sure this line isn't too long, but to also make sure it's not gonna show another sliver on this end. I think that's what I'll do. Just kind of massage that a little bit. So far, that's not looking too bad. I'm liking that. Pretty symmetrical, I guess. It's not symmetrical, but uniform, I guess, as far as the size of the stripes. That's all we're trying to accomplish here, as well as the spacing between them. I think what I want to do, I mean, I could leave it like that for sure, but I want to see how much room we can get out of this by scooting this back just a little bit more until we get, once we start seeing a sliver on here, then I'll say that's too much, right? So while we're on this one here, make sure we're on pit lines, which is this one. That's the one we want to mess with. So we're going to leave the texture size alone. I want to scoot this back, so I need to go 870. Okay, we're going forward on that, so we need to make it higher. So go 880. So what I'm looking for is to see a little sliver come here, to give me an indication that we went too far. Once we start to see a sliver here, then that's too far. We're good, so we're at 9. I think it was originally at 10, which was too far. We're fine, 925. That doesn't look too bad. Let's try 950. 950 might work. And we still don't have any sliver on this end. So really what it came down to was originally at 10. All we had to do is bring that back a half a meter and scoot the other segment up a half a meter, so the same amount. So in this case here, we scooted this back a half a meter, and we bumped this one up a half a meter to get those to mesh right here at this head and tail. That's all we did. So we can go back to this one. It didn't have any skewing on it whatsoever. And we've got that set to a half a meter. So we went forward or back a half a meter on this one, and we went forward or back a half a meter, the same amount on this segment, just to get that to balance out. And that makes sense. So then we can almost be reassured by how much we skewed that in both segments, that we've uniformly kept the spacing and the length of these lines uniform all the way throughout. That's all that took. So the only difference, again, like that we had to consider, I guess, as far as for this segment, because it's so much smaller than the rest of them, is to make that texture size bigger by doubling that. So that's something else you'll run into, I guess, as far as when you do that. But that was pretty simple, actually. That was actually really, really super duper simple. There you go. Yeah, these are the details you notice in replays. You know, I noticed it, like I was mentioning there, Racer James. When I had loaded the track up initially and started panning around, I was like, whoa, that doesn't look right. When I was scanning around, when I initially opened the track, because when I opened the track, it was here at the start-finish line, where that center line is, and I was just panning around. I just happened to notice it, like you said. So if you're noticing just by panning around here in Sandbox, you're definitely going to notice it in the sim and on replays. Absolutely. So anyway, that was a pretty simple fix for that. Nothing too dramatic about that. But now we got a nice smooth, uniform look, I guess, as far as the dash lines here on pit road. So we got uniform length of the lines themselves, and uniform spacing between all those lines, and no little slivers. Cool. So we fixed 2 things here so far, as far as PTF wise. So this is going to be a PTF change from what I did there. So I am definitely going to make sure we save this PTF. Let's zoom out on this and go ahead and save that. And I'll be sending this to Torch, so that he can finalize, I guess, as far as the way he needs to, I guess, as far as on his end. So we're going to go TE. I'm just going to put my label on this. There we go. And it's already going to have the date on the PTF save. So, but if you did want to, you can feel free, I guess, as far as to add the date right to the PTF name if you so inclined. All right, we're going to go ahead and save that. We definitely that would require that change would require PTF save. That's a totally separate PTF. I'm not overwriting this as far as what Torch already had, because if for some reason if I send that to him, he's like, whoa, there was, you know, some type of problem with that. You always have that other PTF to fall back on, because those types of things can definitely tend to happen. So just keep that in mind. It is very common for those that get into track editing or track creation to just continuously keep overwriting the same PTF. Don't do that to yourself. Save yourself the agony down the road, I guess, as far as if something didn't go right, to have a PTF that you know was solid to fall back on. It's not going to hurt to save a PTF. It doesn't take up that much room. In most cases, when you're building a new track, in particular, it's not uncommon to have like a multitude of PTF saves. We're talking, you can get up there to around 1,000 from start to finish. That's not uncommon. But the fact that those files are not that big, and at some point, some of the PTFs will become irrelevant to the point where you can purge them and just keep the most current. That way you have something to fall back on when you see somewhere down the line something screwed up. Just like with certain things that I've even shown on stream, where you had issues where the pit road properties didn't exist. You know, something might have got stepped on in a previous PTF that you may have needed to fall back on. So that's why you never, ever want to just continuously save over the same PTF. Just to save yourself that headache and that agony. So, with all that saved, we got a new PTF. I'm going to confirm that PTF save. So we got our brand new grandstand MIP and the PTF. That's the only thing we have to bring over to our game track directory. Just taking mental note. I'm going to refresh this and confirm. That's the very original text. Is going all the way back to June 26th of last year. This goes to show you how much time it's been, I guess, as far as on this track, though. Last year, June 26th. Crazy. So, yep, here's the new PTF that I just saved. So that's what I'll need to be sending to Torch. And go on from there, as far as to dad it up or whatever you need to do. Yeah, definitely lots of work. So I've got in my folder, at least anyway, I can go back. I'm going to be getting into all this here in a second. This is the latest updates as far as the medallion sets and so on. I've got all the way back to December of 20, at least. Yeah, so going back to about November. Yeah, so I got November 21, but I got December 20. So yeah, we got a better part of a year and a half, like I say, into this track. At least a year and a half. Going on 2 now. Because you saw that PTF as far as being June 26th of 21. So almost 2 years into this thing. But you can see how far it's come, though. A lot of attention to detail. And just the particulars. Let's get back into... When did I close up there? That was... Yeah, we need to get back into this edit folder. So I'm going to be getting into this here now that I've got all the PTF edits that I was going to do, that I know what needs to be done so far. Let's get into these medallion sets. So these here in particular, so set 5 is the one in turn 1. Set 10 is the one that's in turn 4. So just to kind of open this up here in 3D Sim Ed, just to give you an idea. Now this is all built in place, right? So might be a little bit difficult, I guess, as far as to get it in view here. I'm gonna try. Yeah, the fact that it is built in place, I don't know 100% where it's at. Give me a second. See if I can find it. But there's no way to zoom in on the actual deal. Oh, nuts. What I could probably do, let's do this. I'm not going to save this, obviously, but let's do... I'm going to reset this to 0. Oh, man, that didn't work. Hoping that would work. You know, another thing I can do, and this is just to kind of show, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this a 3DS. Okay. Now there's a way to set that object, like in Max, you can set the object to translate. I'm trying to remember how to do that. It's been a while. I don't 100% condone, this is probably a fair mention, don't 100% condone to do all your modeling in 3D Sim Ed. You definitely should consider it as far as doing something like either CModeler, version of Max that'll allow for a pass export. That's I want to make it abundantly clear. It is not conducive, I guess, as far as using 3D Sim Ed for creating your 3DOs. That's for sure. Track has a lot of special items like you're right. Yeah, I was going to do that as a 3DS. I could probably do that. The thing I want to keep in mind if I do a 3DS of it, it's going to add more polys to it. That's just something else that's very evident with 3D Sim Ed. It's going to add more polys to the original construct of it. So I want to make that 100% clear. So yeah, I need to try this out anyway to see how Stream is going to behave by loading up Max. So what I will do is export this out as 3DS. Just gotta remember where it is. So right over here. It's been a while since I've had to do this because it's, like I said, it's not one of the foolproof ways to do this, right? But if you want to see how the model is constructed, at least, and if you want to reconstruct it properly, if it isn't, then this would be the way to go. That's about the only reason why I'm going this route. So 3DS, save it. I'm gonna put that right on my desktop. And it's going to be an 8:3, and that's normal, I guess, as far as for a 3DS format. And I want to map solid color faces. Yep, that'll be fine. So just go ahead and OK. So that created a 3ds of this model. All right. And we'll be able to work with it a little bit better in 3ds Max. We'll close this out. So just to give us an idea of how this texture actually works. The model actually works anyway. How it's built into place. It's a little bit tougher to try to get it in focus in 3D Sim Ed, so we can actually get zoomed in on it, I guess, as far as better in Max. That's the only reason why I'm doing it that way. Yeah, just to show the model. Just to show it. Alright, so what I need to do, I'm going to switch this over real quick, and I'm going to get Max loaded up. So give me un momento. And once I get that loaded up there, we'll load that 3ds that we just exported. Just to give you an idea of what's going on with the model. Okay, so 3ds there. We're going to open this up in... Yeah, since we're not going to create a new 3DO out of this, or anything like that, because it's already made. Torch has already taken the initiative to do that. I'm just going to get this model loaded up into Max so you can actually see what's going on with it. Alright. Just take a second or two, I guess, as far as to get Max loaded up. And once it is, we'll switch it on back over. So we're closing in on 2 hours in the stream. Pretty solid yet. Super stoked. Yep, everything's playing nice too so far. I like it. I'm sure you all do too. I know I was getting very annoyed, I guess, as far as the fact that we had so much video capture freeze. Cheers, everyone, while we're waiting. Ladies of the night. Oh, look at that. You almost get... Look at that bot. That bot is being so teasing. So teasing. So let's, yeah, drink if you got it. Drink if you got it. Alright, we are loaded up. Let's go ahead, switch this back over. Okay. Now that we're loaded up, what I'm going to do is go and import that 3ds. And again, this is only for presentation purposes only. That's the only reason why I'm taking the approach to make a 3ds out of that 3DO and 3D Sim Ed. This is not to create a new 3DO. So right off the bat, you can see what's going on with this model. Right off the bat. So you can see it's got that portion of the medallion top. Right? That's offset as it needs to be, I guess, as far as to comply, I guess, as far as what the amount of geometric render, I guess, if you want to call it that way in the sim. But we can go even further to add this texture. Let's do that. I'm gonna have to bust that open. I want to see some texture on this thing. We're gonna get right down to the nitty gritty of what Torch went in here. So you went about the same approach that I think he did. He didn't do the whole wall, as you can tell. He did just that portion of the wall. Just flanked either side of the medallion. I think that's pretty smart. Instead of doing the whole wall. That would have been a little bit, you know, since there's such a wide expanse there, that would have been a huge undertaking, I guess, as far as to do the whole wall. To get that to line up, you know, perfectly right. Because you do have a lot of, how do I want to put this, geometric bending and breathing and so on and so forth that the wall is going to do, I guess, as far as, because it's such a long expanse. If it was closer together, maybe not so bad. But the fact that this is so much wider, this is a pretty nice approach. And you can see the result, too. Right? You can see how this looks from the camera view. Let me pan back over to that. And it'll look even better in the sim. I've already looked at it, so I already know. But yeah, you can see you got that little bit of a gap here. You don't see hardly any of that once you get into the sim. Hardly none of it. Alright, so let me go ahead and get the texture busted open for this. So this is something else I wanted to show anyway. So this model that Torch has created for both set 5 in turn 1 and set 10 in turn 4 has its own texture, which is this sophomore medallion outer. So I'm going to open this up in 1 minute too. This one's already done. We're going to close that. Let's open up this texture for the sophomore medallion outer. This is a brand new texture. It hasn't been applied to the track until now, and it's all based on this model that I'm currently showing in Max. This is the texture that's being used for that. And so what I'm going to do is actually make a bitmap of this, save that and put that right in this edit. That'll work. And then we're going to load that texture onto our model in here just to see what's going on with it. Okay, so go into material editor. Yep. Load that up, and we're going to change this over to a standard. Give it a second. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Oh man, look at that. Yep. Oh my god, that bot is being so stingy right now. That's crazy. Beats are working on 10 hours almost. Appreciate all that time. 3,706 units of fluid. Very nice. Appreciate that. What are they doing? So we want standard. Yep. And then we want to diffuse, and then go to bitmap. And then we want to navigate to that bitmap we just created. So that's going to be Torches folder. Torch has got his own folder for this this very build. So let's go into here, go to 6.1 of this year. Right there. You can do it! I can do it! Well, I'm trying to do it. You can do it just as well. Love that overlay. Alright, so soft wall outer. Alright, so we got that populated in there. So with the model selected in the scene, we'll go ahead and directly apply that, and there we go. That mapping is already on there, so you can see what's going on with that. Zoom in on this. So you got the top edge of it with the shadowing. You got the top portion of the medallion. You got the medallion on the wall surface itself. Right? You got that portion of the wall at least. Anyway, now you can see how this blends in very nicely, I might add. So if we look at it from this way, it's not much to look at, I guess, as far as from this way, because you do got a lot of gaps in here. But when you go in the sim, you don't see any of that. Don't see any of that. It blends in so nice, I guess, as far as much the same as the gate that's in turn 3. It's not even funny. So yeah, even the way the level of shadowing, I guess, as far as for the medallion shadow, it blends in so nice with the light map. The one thing I've already mentioned with the way this is done, so if you were to turn off, you know, as far as the graphic options in game, shadowing from structures, obviously the fence light mapping would go away for that shadow, but this would remain. We can actually look at that in the sim to actually see how that looks. That would be the only flaw that I would see. It's not a detriment to the track, but it's just like that would be one of the things, because this is a model piece as opposed to a light map. That's the only thing that would definitely be obvious as far as when you turn the shadows off. You'd have these model pieces still in place, right? But anyway, just to kind of give you a closer look, I guess, as far as what we see in Sandbox in comparison to Max, and exactly what Torch has done. So again, one of my suggestions was just to model that whole section, right? That was one of my initial suggestions, was the fact that he only fragmented it out, you know, just to kind of. So, if anything, you consider at this point, so the original medallions had just the medallions themselves. It's because you just had little pieces of the wall itself to kind of fill in that gap that we were experiencing, right? And it works out very well. So this one right here is just for turn 1. So turn 4 is done much the same fashion. Consider the turn 1 one, the set 10, the medallion set 10 is done much the same fashion. So that's pretty cool. I like the way that's and the way it fits in there. We'll be able to see even closer, I guess, as far as once we get into the sim, as far as how well that works. So that is pretty awesome. So that's a brand new texture. It should be one of the last textures added. Now it's probably fair to mention too, let me open up the MIP here again. That's the bitmap. So the texture itself, okay, so this is the MIP, so it is compressed. It is a map of 3, because it is modeled, because we wanted to use all directions of how the polys are mapped, I guess, as far as to the model, hence the map 3, as opposed to just one particular direction like horizontal or vertical, which would be either 0, 1, or 2. So that's just a fair thing to mention, I guess, as far as how that's done. So most of your models that have been done in this build in particular are usually going to be at a map of 3. Majority of them are going to be at a map of 3. So that was one of them to take a look at. That has been brand new to the track. Also, we'll take a close look at the tire walls. So this is the brand new tire walls. The only thing to take note on this one is the fact that it's uncompressed, and it doesn't make the texture that much bigger, and it's gonna be too much texture weight. That's probably fair mention. So the fact that this new texture that I've got open here ends up being a little over a megabyte, and the original texture, which I have over here, 172 kilobytes. So this one here is compressed, so I'll open this one up in movement too. You can kind of see the difference. It's going to be minimal, but the size difference of the MIP itself justifies, I guess, as far as leaving it that way. So here's the compressed. You can see the difference of that. I don't know about you, but I can see immediately the difference in this area in particular in comparison to this one here that's uncompressed. Very minimal, but you know, like I said, what it comes down to is how much texture weight does it add when you compress as opposed to uncompressed, and does that justify being able to leave it uncompressed? And in this case, with the size of this one, definitely it prompts the idea to be able to leave it uncompressed. So that's the only comparison I wanted to make on that one. I think that's about it, I guess, as far as replace, other than the grandstands we just did. I can kind of show the differences between the medallion shadow, because it was a little bit darker. I made the suggestion to just lighten it up a little bit, which he did, and I think it definitely turned out pretty well. So this is the original, right? And you're gonna see very minimal difference, really. So even on my end, it's very minimal, very, very subtle, I guess, as far as change. So this is the original shadow, right? And we're gonna show the new one, and it's gonna be very, 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 very subtle, very subtle. You're gonna look at these like, I don't see any difference. It is so subtle, it's not even funny. But there is a slight difference in the amount of darkness from one to the other. I promise. Absolute promise. So you got the same parameters as it being compressed as opposed to the new one. Right? So this is the one that's being applied to the track as we speak. That is what you see here. Now, even in the sim, what I've noticed as far as it blends so nicely, it's really hard to tell the difference of where this starts and where the light map ends, and vice versa. And we'll be able to take a look at all these things once we go in. Oh, look at that. Look at that stinking bot. It's making you miss it by one emo every single time. Oh my goodness. You know what? For everybody being a good sport against the partner playing the bot, I'm gonna show this bot. You don't do that to my viewers, right? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So for everyone being a really good sport about that, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. For everybody being a absolutely good sport on the bot being super, super stingy. I need to do this over here though. Hold on. Can't do this in the bot. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Everybody in here right now gets 200 units of fluid. Just for being good sports. That's my way of showing the bot. You don't do that to my viewers. Make everybody miss the jackpot by one emote. What's wrong with you? That's my way of slapping the bot up a little bit. Yeah, drink it if you got it. Cheers. Cheers. There you go, Racer James. That's Racer James's way of showing the bot. Showed you. We need a kappa for that one, that's for sure. I'll put one out there. Yeah, absolutely no problem there, Pizza. I've been watching him. I've been watching the bot. He's been doing that way too many times as far as making everybody playing slots miss it by one emote. That's enough of that, bot. That's my way of spanking him up a little bit. Anywho, I appreciate everybody being a good sport about it, though. I think that's pretty much all I got to show over, as far as all the updates. So we've edited what we needed to edit on our end, PTF-wise, and the grandstand, and also showing the new elements and final, which should be the final elements to the track. I think everything's coming coming together pretty well at this point. Alright, let's go ahead and close all these things up here. So yeah, this was the latest texture applied to that model. That should be also, like I said, final. Very minimal change. A lot of subtle changes, I guess, as far as the textures. But they do make a big difference. Alright, so I'm going to close this all up here. There we go. Gold lanes. Yeah, so I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Yep, I showed the inner tire walls. Yeah, so Torchhead did give me a newly mapped version of the inner tire walls that was on the turn 3-4, and just to make sure that there was 100% no problem. So there's really not much to show there, I guess. Just the fact that we know that that tire wall on the infield is 100% modeled, as opposed to the only geometric part of it is just that collision for the W section. That's it. So probably just a fair mention. Okay, we've already got our PTF saved. Now what we need to do is bring all of our elements that are brand new, our grandstand MIP and our saved PTF that we made the change on the dash lines on pit road, over to the game track directory. So get that switched over to that. We'll get that done. That's really about all we got to bring over. I already got, I'm going to ensure, I guess, as far as I got all this stuff that Torch has just given me, as far as in this this latest edit folder, just to make sure. I think I do. I got those in already. I'll bring them over anyway, just to make sure. It's not going to hurt to bring those back over, just to ensure. Okay, so let's switch this again. Here we go. Oh, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. That dirty, rotten bot. That dirty, rotten bot. There we go. Look at he's doing. Look at what he's doing. He is totally toying with everybody.
Hit the pace car.
Right?
Hit the pace car. Hit the pace car. What for?
We already know what for, right? We already know what for. We're we getting into that in un momento here. Oh my God, he totally jacked Racer James up. Holy mackerel! Look at what it's doing to Torch and Pizza though. He's making them miss the slots by one stinking emote. That dirty bot. What is that emote? Oh, there you go. You got a beer. So Evan's got his own drink. Hey, drink whatever you got. Drink whatever you got. Drink whatever you got. Cheers. It's kind of carrying over, I guess, as far as from the Friday festivities too. There we go. Okay, so where we're at right now is we got to get all the files moved over to our game track directory. So that's what I got currently on the screen. So let's do that. Let's get that going. Look at that crap. Oh my god, look at that. This bot, I'm telling you. Look at that crap. He is totally toying with you guys. Now he's doing it to Racer James. He's like, oh, you get a piece of this too, huh? Yeah, now he's doing it to Racer James now. That's crazy. Alright, while you guys are playing the mini chat games, I'm going to get these files moved over. So we got to go to our track edit folder. We need to move over our newly saved PTF, which is down here. I'll find it. Where you go? Alphabetic. Yeah, here it is. There it is. We need this guy, and also the grandstand MIP. Actually, I know what I'm going to do even better. I'm going to take this PTF. I got a better idea. I'm going to copy this guy, move that over. I got an idea. So I'm going to take it all out of the smaller edit folder. Paste that in there. Yep. Oh, whoops, I did that wrong. Uh-oh, what did I do? Paste it right back into... Nope, I did that wrong. My bad. Delete that. Did you get one? Somebody got one. Who got one? Who got one? Missed it. Hold on. Yes, I'm gonna delete that one. I copied it back into the same folder. Dang it. Ooh, Evan got one. Lots coming around now. Who got that one? Oh, Pizza got one. Sweet. Pizza's got one. Evan just got one. That's the low end one, 300 units. Nice. GG's. Leaving Racer James and Torch out of it now. Now Torch. Now the bot's saying, nope, I'm done. Rigged. Get some rigged out there. Alright, so I copied it to the wrong folder. So let me try this again. Got distracted. Alright, so we need to move. Alright, let's try this again. Right? Make sure you spray. Love that overlay, I guess, as far as that. It's perfect for that sound alert. The rigged emote, I think that's one of them I got for subs to the channel. Yeah, so you should have the yeah. Thanks, Evan, for giving Pizza the rigged emote. Yeah, that one is subs only, I believe. Yeah, so I got plenty of them, I guess, as far as for followers. I only got so many slots. That's the problem. What is that emote? Oh, it's the ogre. You're thinking about getting foods? I'll definitely be getting foods, I guess, as far as after stream, that's for sure. We got a lot to do here first, so we're gonna get this PTF over. Here we go. Copy that. Make sure I get it in the proper folder. Not that one. I need this one. Our game track directory. Yes. And then also we need to move over the edited files. So let's go like this. I'm gonna go step this back one folder, one more folder, go to this folder, and I need to get all these things. So we got the brand new PTF, or grandstands. I think that's the brand new one. Make sure. I think it is. All right, let me check on this side. Hold on, and make sure I get the right grandstands one. I think that's the one. Yeah, it should. Need to confirm. Give me a second. Grandstand. Do not mind, I guess, as far as what the man behind the curtain is doing. Okay. Where the hang is that thing? Okay, we got the G steps. That's the grandstands. Where the heck are you? FG. Garages. Oh, there it is. So that is confirmed 6 or 625. All right, cool. That is the right one. So we need this guy. And get all this stuff to get that. All these studios. I just want to confirm. Got all the stuff that we need, as well as I don't need this PTF. We already have our own PTF that we just saved. So that's this PTF is not going to comply, I guess, as far as what the changes that we made on stream today. I want to use that one. I already moved that over to our game track directory. Now I'm going to move all this stuff first, so I'll have some stuff to replace. And how many files did I do? Copy there. Let me do this again. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 files. So I should have 8 copies that 8 files that should replace over. Let's go. This for confirmation. Over here. Paste. 7 files. Okay. Which files are different? Guess we'll find out here. Let's go ahead and replace those. Should be 8. Oh, I see what I did. I think I brought over that dang it, never mind. Brought over that bitmap and I need to get that out of here. Don't need the bitmap in here, we already got the MIP. I must have copied. Let me double check. I must have copied.
You can do it!
I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. Yeah, so I brought over this guy here too. We didn't need that bitmap. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Should be good. We'll be able to find out here once we get into the sim, that's for sure. Alright, so one last thing I need to do is rename the PTF so that it'll read the new one once we go into the sim, not the previous one. Evan's always telling me to try harder. Always. Always trying harder. Alright, so, yeah. Where are you at again? So, alphabetic. This one here, I'm going to go ahead and delete that one out. Okay. Usually I'll back it up there, but I always forget to take the backup out. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename this. If it doesn't work, I know it is related to my PTF. I can always revert to Torch's original PTF. I've already got it in the other folder. Okay, so we got everything that we need as far as the PTF and everything associated with that new PTF. Changes to that and the new items like that, the 2 medallion sets and so on. So we got everything we need in this game track directory. So moment of truth is we're gonna go ahead and launch the sim and ensure that the track loads. If it loads, we're good to go. If not, then troubleshoot and see where we went wrong. Burger, tacos. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna have. I'm kind of feeling pizza. Maybe. We'll have to see. Alright, so let's load up the track in testing mode. I do have that that level of 2 miles an hour on the wind so that we can see the animation, I guess, as far as to that flag. You can definitely put this to 0 if you so choose, and then just stay static. That's the way this is designed anyway. All the after power food, right? Big black V8s, there you go. Just, you know, just creating all kinds of, okay, so the track does load. We're good to go so far. And just to kind of bring this up here, you can see the flags with that 2 mile an hour. It's that slight bit of wind there. It's not much to really make a difference, I guess, as far as on your setup for the car, but it at least gives that animation for the slow speed of the flags that are custom to this track. One of these streams, and I know I've already mentioned this, one of these streams I would like to be able to go over how you would do that. I guess as far as how you create one method, at least anyway, to create an animated flag, as opposed to the way Papyrus did it back in the day, which was just a texture change on a flat plane. This one here is a more dynamic type of flag that has actual mesh. So as it waves, it's actually the mesh. The different meshes will load at different frames instead of just the texture changing. And that's what gives it a lot more organic, kind of natural flow to it, in my opinion. Okay, so testing seems to work. Let's go jump into drive here and make sure it doesn't crash. So far, so good. So the fact that we can get it in the car without it crashing, that's definitely a good sign. Now let's go into a single race session and make sure that loads up fine. And then what I'll probably end up doing is going back into testing so that we can see all these changes that have been newly applied, like the medallions in turn 1 and 4, without having other cars going around the track, at least anyway. Alright, so let's load this up with, back one more. On the single race, we'll see if that, we'll ensure that that loads up in single race. The only thing I'm doing is just ensuring that it does load. It's good. We are good. Cool, let's go to drive. And it loads up that way without crashing. So far we are good to go, I guess, as far as with our things that we brought over brand new, I guess, as far as our PTF and everything to the track folder. Yo. That's what she said. Alright, pizza. We'll be here. Fishing is all about how you wiggle. Jeez, OP. You would know. Evan would know. Where we're going, we don't need rows, right? Okay. Oh, I gotta sneeze, and oh my goodness. I don't want to sneeze in y'all's earbuds, that's for sure. Ugh. If it comes out, I'm just fair warning and everybody. It's like trying to keep it from blowing all y'all's eardrums. You do lots of fishing. Yeah, you have been doing a lot of fishing this past week. Alright, so anyway, we've confirmed that the track does load in single race. I'm going to go back to testing, and then I'll get the wheel set up here so that we can actually do some navigating around the track in testing mode. Go back. Alright, so give me just a moment, I guess, to get the wheel over here. So I'm just going to BRB for just a moment. I'll be right back, so don't go nowhere. What the heck? I don't know why that didn't unmute. Dadgummit. Well, anyway, we're back. So I decided to get that wheel set up. She's got a nice bass. Oh my goodness. Baby's got bass. Oh my goodness. You're gonna go take a nap and try to get rid of a half-ish. Yeah, you do that, Pizza. I appreciate you sticking around. Hopefully you do feel better. Get rid of all that yuckiness. Appreciate having you around, sticking around, I guess, as far as what we got going on here. But yeah, hopefully taking a nap there will make you feel better. Okay, we're gonna go into testing mode, and I think the other thing I want to do here is actually take off the background music. Yeah, let's do that, so you can get all of these sounds in the sim. Right? Appreciate the lurk there, Pizza. Yeah, super sucks, I guess, as far as, especially this time of year, I guess, as far as there's so much going on here. As much as you probably want to stick around and then you just feel like crap, been there. I know what it's like. Alright, so in testing mode, load this up here. Right, so we're in testing mode. Let's go to drive. So one of the things I want to show, as I did in Sandbox, how these medallion sets here, is particularly in turn 1 and 4, actually mesh very well, I guess, as far as into geometric wall. But you saw the way that was as far as the model, those little pieces of the modeled wall, right? As far as that flanked the medallion. Now we're going to take a closer look here in the sim. This is the true test. You can get a sense of how this looks. So this is how it looks in the sim. So you got an ever so slight amount of gap. Ever so slight. Big difference, I guess, as far as from what we experienced, I guess, as far as prior to going this route, right? The fact that it's such a minimal gap, it's not even noticeable. But look at how well that medallion shadow actually presents itself with that light map. Can't even tell the difference. Can't even tell the difference looking at it at a glance. And that's the whole key to it. So the fact that I had mentioned as far as just the lightening up a little bit from what it was before, because it was very definitive that you could tell where that model was actually pieced in. So what we're looking at right here is both the model piece of the medallions into the geometric wall, as well as the shadow, which is also modeled, that accompanies the light map. So the top portion of that dark strip of light map, because as far as that represents the shadow from the wall. So you've got these two married pieces of modeled and geometric, I guess, as far as working together. You can't even tell the difference. Other than if you look really close. I mean, you have to look really, really close to see that ever so slight of a gap of where that model actually is in the geometric. I don't think I could have done it better myself. I'll be perfectly honest. That's just phenomenal. And that's just for the one set. Now, if we go check out the other set, the other thing I guess I want to point out here too. So if I go into my settings, I'm going to stay right here. If I go into my settings, I don't think it's going to let me do it here. Let me see. Maybe it will. Yeah, so if I go into my graphics, and I'm going to turn off structures, shadows from structures. What I was mentioning in Sandbox, when I turn those off, obviously the light maps for the shadows for the fence is going to go away. But that shadow for the medallions is still going to remain. And that's what you see. That's the only point that I was making. So, if anything, that's the only downside, I guess, as far as doing it in this method. But in order to get that medallion shadow to show exactly where you want it to show, this is the approach. I don't think this is a detriment at all. I'm just pointing out the fact if you did want to turn the shadow, I don't know why you would want to be perfectly honest, but if you feel so inclined to turn the shadows off, this is what you'd be left with. And show what the point that I was trying to make. So let's go back in the options. I'm going to turn them back on. I like having the shadows on. And that's the difference. Right? Do unpause. Well, non-pause for me. Like, what the heck? Geometric wall adjustment. We get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to, yeah, that's probably a fair mention. If you really, really super duper wanted to, you could. You absolutely could. But I don't think it's that bad. And you could probably really mess it up because we've already seen that was part of the reason why you ended up going this route with the modeled piece, because it's right in the middle of a geometric section, right? So there was no way to adjust it on the head or tail, right? So I think this is a huge, huge difference, I guess, as far as being able to model it this way to get rid of that gap for just that medallion by itself, right? Because of where that is located within that geometric section of the track. If you had a head or tail closer to that, yeah, you absolutely probably could. I would leave it alone at this point, because otherwise you're going to end up screwing up the head and tail, as we showed last week, too much, right? So it's going to affect too much the head and tail of where this whole medallion set is actually located. I would totally leave it alone. Because no matter what distance that I look at it from here, it's so welded together, and that's the best term I can come up with, because as far as it's unreal. Angles from all directions, yeah, that totally makes sense. So even as you mentioned that, so if we were to look at it from this angle, so we're actually going in the direction of the track. If you look at it from this way, now you saw what it looked like in Sandbox, right? You definitely see how much. Come on, get up the hill. Be into the sun here a little bit, but look at how that looks. Looking at it straight on here in the sim, in comparison to Sandbox, you can't even tell the difference. So actually, let me do this. I'm going to take a screenshot. We're going to make a comparison to Sandbox. Alright, just took me a second there. So that's our viewpoint, I guess, as far as looking at it straight on here in the sim. You look at it in Sandbox, you could tell how far offset it was in Sandbox, but that goes to show you how much those geometric walls actually breathe and or bend, however you want to put it, I guess, as far as like that. And you have to compensate for that as far as when you're dealing with model pieces. Alright, so that's just for turn 1. So I've shown the shadows and the medallion set for turn 1. Let's go check out turn 4. Then we'll also go down pit road, and we'll confirm that the changes we made to those dash lines are actually, we'll go all the way to that area, I guess, as far as that we adjusted. Check that out. So all these other shadows that we got here and on the back stretch must the same thing. As far as the way those blend really nicely into the light map. You wouldn't even know unless you were to turn the shadows off, like I just showed, that that was even a model piece. And even with the having the shadows off there, the way the model piece still meshes so nice, I guess, as far as with the geometric of the track. Insane. All right, so whoop, I passed it. My bad. Passed it. Let's go back here. So we've got this guy right here that has the turn 4. So we'll look at it the same way as we did in turn 1. Look at it as you were driving around. That's why I do this all in testing. Oh my goodness, it's so steep over here. Slid right down. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the other set, which is the set 10. All right, so you can see how this one looks now. So we, again, picture, if you will, from last week, you had similar amount of gap from where the medallion is and how it met up with the geometric. Look at how fluid that is now. And you saw the way that texture was designed as far as how that meshes all together. You can't even tell where it stops and where it ends. That's huge. And I mean, you look at this medallion and go down to this medallion. These are both one set. And it has those little pieces of the actual wall, I guess, as far as that flank medallions. That fixed it so nicely. I don't know if I could have done it better myself, like I say. Now, if we look at this one head on, same way. Get there. So steep on this end. That's why when I make the model check with the, yeah, you definitely, and that's the point I was making last week. Definitely have to look in the sim. You can't just go by what you're seeing in Sandbox for these types of things. Same thing as turn 1. You look at it head on. So no matter what angle you look at this at, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was modeled. You might see a little bit of flickering there. I did notice a little bit of flickering, but you really got to look really close to even tell. And when you're going around the track, I guess as fast as you are, and even if you get into a crash and look at it through a replay, you would never notice it. Probably never notice it. Never know, I guess, as far as that was even a model piece. That's the beauty of being able to do that, and the reasons for doing it. We didn't do it. So at this stage of the game, Porch didn't do it just to do it. He did it because it was necessary, because to get rid of like the gaps that existed with the geometric of the wall and the model. So only those two sets. So this set here in turn 4 and the one in turn 1 is the only ones that had to be adjusted in such a fashion. But much the same, if it called for it, I guess, as far as in any other part, would have done the same thing. All right, now let's go down pit road. See where we changed it down here, closer to pit exit. Got a rough idea, I guess, as far as where this took place here. So let's just look how uniform this all is all the way down. What I'm looking for at this point is just to make sure there's no little slivers of dashed paint line. As long as we don't have that, and it's otherwise pretty uniform all the way through, that's all we care about. So right about here, yep, right about this spot here is where we changed it, where we adjusted it. We got no slivers, and also no discrepancies, let's put it that way, I guess, as far as in the uniformity of the spacing and the length of those painted lines all the way down. Fantastic. I think we done fixed everything we needed to fix. And then also we can take a look while we're in here. Kind of get up close to the wall here. We can see the railings. Might be a little bit hard to see because we're in the sun. I did notice this here, and I don't know if that's much that you could be probably fixed. From a distance here, you can see a little bit of clipping on this medallion. I don't really think it's going to be that much of an issue. But I do notice that every once in a while it's that little bit of clipping there in such areas. It's not that terrible that it would need to be even bothered with. It's so minor, I guess, as far as like that, but you do get a little bit of clipping. So if you're going through turn 1 here, you see that little bit of clipping right there? For some people, that might be a little bit of an annoyance. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but that's all part of the way it's modeled, right? So much the same thing that we dealt with on the outside wall, pretty much what's probably done there. I don't think it's, at this point, it's not that big of an issue. I think everything else that's been done with this thing is, you know, take care of some of those in particulars like that, I think it's says a lot for what's going on with it. So checked out Pit Road. We checked out what it looks like in the sim for those 2 medallion sets in both turn 1 and 4. Now we can kind of go a little bit slow here on the back strip and see how all these shadows for the medallions and stuff like that work. Actually, I think I passed them all. So we got all these have been adjusted. That got shifted down from a previous stream, I guess, as far as to put it ahead of this gate. I don't think we've looked at that too close, I guess, as far as since last time. But this gate, if we remember right, for those that have been following, got that gate here in turn 3. That just looks great. I mean, the fact that that does exist in reality, almost in that same exact spot, and the way he's got that little bit of reveal of the foam, and to show that that's all modeled, folks. Keep this in mind. This is all modeled right here. You can't even tell exactly where that model starts and where it stops and where it ends. That is the trick, I guess, as far as getting these types of things to marry, I guess, as far as in plain ice with the geometric and the model piece. Torch has done a fantastic job, and it really is a trick of the eye to some degree, because really what it came down to, I'm not going to point this out again for anybody that's been following, is that one star that was on this model piece for this gate happened to be that one that's right there, right ahead of me. By changing the darkness of that star by itself, totally took away any instance as far as where that model piece for that gate is right there. So if that star was to remain, I guess, as far as bright as it used to be, you'd totally be able to tell. It was very obvious as far as where that is. Now that it's all blended in there, can't even tell. Can't even tell. Let alone to even look at it very close. You can see all the welds for all the different spot welds, I guess, as far as between each beam for each safer. Both, so if you look further to the left at the further away star, that is the geometric wall. When you look at the star that's closer to the right, as far as closer to the opening of the gate, that is the modeled piece. I'm just pointing that out there, I guess, as far as just to kind of give some clarity, I guess, as far as what you're looking at. The fact that you can't even tell the difference, that's phenomenal. Oh yeah, I love the way that gate turned out, and the fact that it's their reality and you were able to, make something out of that as far as what you see in reality. That's, most people, that would try to tackle that, they would try to split the track segment to try and get that opening to be there. The fact that you've got it modeled and have reduced the amount of splitting in the track to be able to make those types of things happen, that's the big difference. That's the big difference. That's just huge. The fact that the track is flawless. Anywhere you go, now granted this is all in testing mode, I'm just going to kind of drive through here. You can see the very limited amount of fluctuation that you have in frame. I'm staying in the mid to low 140s all the way around the track. And I'll go down pit road too. So it's actually still time in my lap. That's funny. So I'm staying in the low to mid 140s frame rates in testing mode. No other cars. Nothing else loaded. Not a lot of library. And we're going to get into doing doing a race and start from the back. But look at all the clarity in the mirror too, as far as how much. So I got full drawing distance in both front and back. And in fact, you don't see a lot of clipping or removal of clarity, I guess, as far as either ahead of you or in back of you. And it's maintaining like I said, low 140s, mid 140s all the way throughout the track. So let's go down pit road. Now we don't have all the war wagons for the other cars and stuff like that, so that's, we'll make these comparisons. So I got the animated flags there by the victory lane. That is, that's got some graphical draw, right? Give these guys we'll give them some practice here. Stop in our pit. We'll just ensure the pit stop works too. There we go. So that sound that you're hearing, you can hear it. That is my makeshift one lug wrench sound, I guess, as far as I did the best I could. So what the game does try to do is it still tries to, whatever's in that, the actual game, dynamic, I guess, as far as for the air wrench sound. It tends to want to follow a 4-lug pattern regardless of what sound file you put to it. In this case, a form of a wave file. So I did the best I could, I guess, as far as to make it sound like just one big lug being worked on. It still uses the same amount of time by default, as far as so the pit stop times that teams are able to achieve at this point are about half as much. They're right around 8-9 seconds now, which is insane. But that does tend to prove, I guess, as far as the fact that they do one lug. It's a one lug tire now. So I don't know if we'll ever be able to achieve without being able to edit the DXE, I guess, as far as for the sim, to allow for a much faster pit stop. That's still yet to be seen. All right, so that's in testing mode. Get out of here. Track looks fantastic that way. There it is. Finally got that major jackpot. Yeah, we need some GGs out there for Torch. So that's your first one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that is your first one. GGs. Is there anybody that's got the GGs? Go ahead and score some GGs. That's your second big one. You got another one? Where did I miss that? Really? Okay, I must have missed that. All right. I'll have to call you good on that. Let me look back here for a second. I don't know how I missed that. I know the bot was being super stingy. I saw Pizza put the... Maybe that's what would confuse me. So Pizza had done the 3 robots. I'm looking back here. I'm going to hold you accountable here, Torch. You got the big one. Where's the big one? Where? Oh, so that was way up there. That was a few minutes ago. Oh, you did. Sweet. That's 2 major jackpots. Holy crap. Absolutely. GG's. I had to go look back and hold you honest. Just before Pizza. Yeah, I saw that now. Yeah, that's why Pizza did that. The 3 robots there. It kind of threw me off there. I thought Pizza had gotten it. Pizza did get one, but it wasn't the big one. So yeah, definitely some GGs. Get all the GGs out there, I guess, as far as for you. Great. So I guess we can say that, I guess, the bot has been somewhat forgiving us as far as it was being a little bit stingy there for a while. So let's get out of the testing session. We're going to load up a race. We're going to finish this up a solid note here, shall we? So we've been able to go so far. What's the tally? Tally right now is 2 hours, 40 minutes with no video freeze. So I think I think we can honestly say here, folks, I guess, as far as we're in good shape. I guess as far as moving forward. I'm kind of looking forward to the rest of the streams for next week. Because as far as for Taco Truckin' Tuesdays, some whatever Wednesdays and Fridays for sure. The fact that we've got a brand new map that we're playing on with Farm Sim 22 with Evan the Bandito, Western Wilds. Look forward to seeing everybody in there when you get a chance. Yep, I don't think so there, Bella. No. You go bye-bye now. We don't want that nonsense here. We got a clean stream over here. At least we like to think so. Alright, so let's go into single race. And we're going to load this up with the maximum number of cars. We'll have 42 to include ourselves, so 17 laps. Let's see what we can do here, folks. Been able to see all the intricacies, I guess, as far as the way the track is done at this point. Lots of very, very vinny, in-depth detail, I guess, as far as, for lack of a better way to put it. Okay. Also, I need to, I thought I banned a dude. My bad. Might be back, so if he's back, we'll take beating that dang bot, right? No kidding. Alright, so we're going to start right from the back. We're not going to qualify. It's going to give a true test, I guess, as far as and really push, I guess, the graphics, I guess, as far as on this thing, as far as to benchmark it, so on and so forth. So we got all the animations going. We got all the cars that'll have to be rendered in. So we saw what the frame rates were, I guess, as far as in testing mode. we'll get a sense of what the frame rates are starting from the back with everything loading up in here. We got all the stuff, everything you can possibly throw has been added to the track is going to be evident here. There we go. We got wing foot up in the air. You should see that helicopter flying, I guess, as far as from the medical care center and all that good stuff. Right now we're low to mid 40s, so I'm gonna let the cars go ahead there a little bit. Yep. So even as we gain a little bit of distance there, we do gain frame rates. A lot of detail between this mod and the track at this point. So we got the got the helicopter up in the air. He's coming back. Looks like he's going back to his care facility there over at pit entrance. We got Fred Jones a couple rows ahead of us here. I have not done any adjustments to the setup, so any racing that you have seen me perform here on the track, it's still the same setup. So it does tend to push really bad after a couple laps, and I have not adjusted the springs as I need to, in particular to not have it bottom out so bad, especially on the very fast end. We're going into turn 3 here. Alright, we'll just see what we can get here. Well, just see what we can do. I need to start this probably in first gear. Not second gear. Second gear is a little too tall. Give him a lot of room though. I like the shine that they got on these rims. This mod. The shine on these rims, especially when you got the chrome anodized type of deals, they look really cool. Got to give these guys a lot of room on these first couple laps. They're trying to navigate themselves through this very, very, very slow turn 1 and 2. I probably didn't even give him that much room. Oh, we got a caution. Not on me. Hey, whoa, baby. Whoa, Hersey. Oh, my goodness. It's still wrecking. Glad it wasn't me. This is a really good test, I guess, as far as the pace car function there, too. So the fact that the caution came out before the first lap. Okay, we're going to take the caution here. We're going to have some cars behind us when we restart, that's for sure. Glad it wasn't me, though. So the 88 was what we got to stay behind. Okay, so we got wing foot up in the air. Pretty cool. He's monitoring all the things happening up above. Man, that was a bad wreck here in turn 3. Kind of calamity corner here. Sometimes. Okay, we are not pitting, that's for sure. Barely got a lap in. Got a Honda in here, so that's definitely fictional. But the fact that this mod allows the ability, I guess, as far as to paint these different kind of makes, and it looks pretty good. Yep, got the helicopter landing over there. That's pretty neat. Lots of really cool details going on back all around. Appreciate everybody sticking around, and whether if you're in the lurking capacity or not, just to see what we got going on here for Texas Motor Speedway build on this kind of a test of stream here, I guess, as far as to see how things are going to go. And so far, everything's working out good. We're running entirely on NDI on this PC that I'm currently running on, dedicated to doing nothing but playing games. We're able to bring that to you on the channel. Okay, so we're probably going to have a good 3 or 4 laps of caution here because that was a pretty bad wreck. That was pretty nasty. Well, we steered way clear of that, that's for sure. Oh, we gotta wait a little bit. Jumping the gun. Yeah, so the fact that I've got Thomas Philbrick, he's one of the main guys, I guess, as far as what the build of the um, full circle, full circle racing design set for this NASCAR Cup Series 22 mod. He's actually right in front, right in back of me, right behind me. He was one of them involved in that wreck. Another jackpot. Ooh, that's 3 jackpots. You got 2 main ones, and that's now you just got the little guy. That's the little guy. 300 units of fluid. GG's. You can get some GG's out there for anybody hanging out in the stream. That's one of my next investments here. Is now the fact if this continues to work out for not needing a AVer Media card, that leaves a little bit on the budget, I guess, as far as to potentially get a Stream Deck. Really need some type of Stream Deck type of setup. So either it be on Touch Portal, acquiring some type of iPad to do the Touch Portal thing, or an actual Stream Deck. Thing is, for me, you know, it's like when it comes to that type of stuff, I either go big or go home. So I really want to get the big button, all the buttons, I guess, as far as on the Stream Deck. All right. Oh, cool. We're going racing. Cool. Here we go. Guess I missed that. Here we go. I think I was only... I forgot I wasn't counting. I lost count there. I think it was only about 3 laps. Thought for sure it was going to be about 4. That was a pretty nasty wreck. But the game, the sim itself actually determines whether how many laps of caution is going to. So it determines how bad the wreck was, especially when it involves AI. Really, not much you can do about that. So if it's a really nasty wreck and there's more cars involved, and just to get the whole field resituated, it's going to determine how many laps of caution there's going to be. On a track like this, definitely can count on it with a wreck of that capacity. It's going to be at least 4. 3 to 4, at least, anyway. Alright, we're getting ready to go green, folks. The fact that we're way back here, we can't really see, I guess, as far as how well that restart zone works. We've already shown how well that works in the previous stream.
Alright, man, pace cars in. Get ready.
Give him room, give him room. Don't step on him, just trying to get around me. Hey, hold up there, dude. Hold up there, dude. There we go. Now we can go. Clean pass. Had to shift there a little bit. Lost a little momentum. Driver error on my part. You stay back there. Gonna burp it a little bit. I got Thomas right on my tail. I'm gonna keep him back there if I can help it. Don't overdrive it. There we go. Nice and easy. Slower is faster in this corner. Oh, he got right back up to me. Oh, he's got me. He's got me. Got me. Clean pass. Way to go, Thomas. Getting that lap back. Working on it anyway. Slower is faster in this corner. Don't overdrive it. You can easily overdrive it in this corner, that's for sure. Oh, I need to adjust the suspension on this car so bad, especially for that corner. Sucks down a little too well. Lowers faster. Oh, starting to push already. Yeah, if I were to free those springs up a little bit, so it doesn't suck down too far here, and also didn't tighten up so much as far as in turns 1 and 2. Car would be definitely faster. Some point in the game, I will adjust that on my end. This is a very stable setup there, nonetheless. To start off with, make those type of adjustments for your driving style. Oh, pushing. Trying to get a 28 second lane. I know I can do a 28, a high 28. I do have a high 28 that I can do in practice and qualifying. The fact that we're getting a little bit of draft off the car ahead of me, should be able to do it. Gonna burp it a little bit. Not redlining yet. We're pushing it though. Catching this guy a little bit. Oh god, we're pushing. Five to go. All right. Oh, we get kind of red line there a little bit. Post it through. Oh, we definitely caught this guy. He lets me go. Cindric. Cindric is the one that drives the 2 car now. Keep him behind us. I think that was first position. That was definitely first position. So if nothing else, it should go how easy enough, I guess, you can pass with the AI. I don't think we're going to catch the rest of this pack. We're going to try, though. We're going to try our damnedest. Oop. We're going to drive it like we stole it. Slower is faster in here. Yep, from the center off, it's kind of really good. Doesn't push quite as bad as if we stay in it too long. Getting into the middle of the turn. And 1 and 2 at least anyway. Over here I just got to watch not to go too low to the apron. If I go too low to the apron, this kills the momentum. Two to go. White flag should be coming out. There it is. Perfect. Oh, and a caution. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to finish under caution. Only 2 laps to go. Oh, it's in turn 4. Oh, look at all the smoke. Oh, God. He got around me. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ooh, that didn't work out too well. Did not expect that. Not expect that. I did not expect that. I saw Cindric going around me there. It's just like, I gotta go.
Hit the pace car! Hit the pace car! Hit the pace car!
I hit more than the pace car. I hit more than the pace car, that's for darn sure. I need to push. I need to push. Yeah, we're gonna end up going a lap down. There goes all the leaders. Oh my goodness, that totally blocked up the track. We're gonna have to watch that replay. That was totally blocked. Oh, that was sucked. All right. So yeah, it's gonna finish under caution. Let's go ahead and retire. So we'll put this on live. Holy mackerel! Let's go ahead and actually back this up here a little bit. Let's see what actually took place here. That was ugly. Yeah, when I slowed up there, I expected Cindric behind me to do the same thing. So look at how that medallion set works there, and also for turn 4. I'm going to back this up there. So the turn 4, wait, it's a little bit further back. So we were talking about how it looks in replays. Look at how that looks. Oops. Look at how that looks. That's all modeled right there. Fantastic. Wouldn't even be able to tell. That's the whole point. So all that in the infield, that's all modeled to include the lighting. So yeah, so you can see he already passed me there, and that's when I say, oh, I gotta go. All right, let me back this up a little bit. So yep, I was just slowing up for the wreck. Cindric said, the hell with you. He went right through him too. Bam! I just followed him right in there. Yeah, it totally blocked up the track. Let's move it to... Pace car's already out. Where's that wreck? So we gotta go this way. Let's see what happened here. So... roll it back. I'm gonna see what actually happened here. So the fact that it was all AI, I had nothing to do with that. Oh, somebody got on their lid. Holy crap. Oh, Bowman there. Yeah, that was definitely a roadblock. Thanks, Evan. So, oh, yeah, this guy here got way too close to the apron, apparently. Oh, actually, this dude got out of shape. Looks like he got pushed into. Well, let's back it up a little more. This is where it got a little hairy here. So the 90... How far is that one? That's the 6. That's going backwards. So the 91 in Whitehill, that's got to be a fictional. He got pushed to the 18 here. That's where all hell broke loose. Holy mackerel, man! Look at how tight that racing was, though. I mean, it was next to the last lap. I'd probably do the same thing, I guess. Holy crap! Look at how badly it roadblock right here in turn 4. Big old roadblock. So looks like Fred made it through. He squeaked through. Oh my goodness! 48 just come tumbling down on everybody. All right, let's hand this over here. Where did it actually get blocked? Here's where it got blocked. Right here. All these cars just blocking the whole damn 4. Here we come. Boom! Trying to make a hole through it. Alright, let's actually put it on. DV2 might be a better view. Got a lot of really cool views, I guess, as far as here. Let's go check this out. Plowed into him. There's the roadblock. And here comes Cindric. And there's me. I had nowhere to go. I was just trying to catch back up to Kendrick here. Cindric or whatever his name is. Let's pan this forward. 1 frame at a time. There we go. 1 frame at a time. Cindric goes through, or tries to. He did not make enough of a hole, and I just followed suit. Nasty. Totally just killed the engine. Killed it. Just killed it. But man, look at the I'm just gonna leave it on here so you can see the detail in the mod. The fact that it didn't crash. So you know, even considering the crash itself, the fact that the track didn't crash, you know, as far as the playthrough on it, that's a huge testament. So that was a lot going on there just in that one wreck. So all the detail, you know, the level of graphics that I got it set to is more or less medium for the most part, so not necessarily extreme or high. That's a huge, you know, it wouldn't necessarily been considered a huge impact, I guess, as far as if it was any less optimized between the mod and the track. So that to me is a huge testament. That's a really cool test of how well this mod, or any mod for that matter, works with this track. So 48 in the corner pocket, right? Yeah, I guess you could kind of say. I don't know so much with real life because in real life I think the cars would have necessarily, you know, checked up. I didn't expect 2 car, I guess, as far as to keep, you know, trying to pass me.
Pace car!
Right?
Hit the pace car! Hit the pace car! What for?
Oh, we hit more than that. That's for darn sure. That was for sure. But yeah, in all actuality, there's no racing back. You know, once the caution is raised, they do have the rule in NASCAR in reality to totally back off. So there's no racing back with less than 10, you know, with more than 10 to go. So also the other thing I'm taking into account here in this one shot, the way the railings look on the grandstands, as far as we clean that up, how much clarity there is to that. You've got the medallions on the wall. You've got the track condition light, which we can't see this on the back side of it. All the infield lights, which the track is totally designed to be able to turn the lights off and be able to turn the lights on, you know, as far as to make it a night track. That's something, the way the track is built, it's totally possible to be able to do that. You would have to add, you know, the additional shading around the track to make it night. And I'm sure Torch might take the initiative. That's totally his choice. I'm sure you'll probably divulge into that, I guess, as far as once he gets his new PC done. But pretty cool shot, just right there. Even though we did get wrecked, I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of it. Let me pan this over to one of the other cars. Nope, not that one. Right there. A lot going on in this one picture. Even with that angle. Actually, let me find a better angle. That was Cindric. Let's try that one right. Yeah, so that's got a lot. That's pretty much the whole mess right there that caused the wreck. All cars involved. The 48. I think the 91. I think it was. I think he kind of squeaked through. The majority of the. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool screenshot actually. Yeah, we gotta save that. Definitely looks really nice. Cool. All right. So there you have it, folks. I did try my best as far as to finish in a decent spot, but we had a little bit of a roadblock. So not much we could do there. Who ended up winning this darn thing? Truex actually wins it here. So we know the drill here, folks. After we try our darndest, I guess, as far as to, you know, finish clean nice and solid, I guess, as far as in there. We only had one car. Nope, we had more than that. My bad. So we had lots of cars involved in the initial accident that we had in the very first lap. I was in up 2 laps down. I knew it was going to be at least one. Lots of cars involved in an accident, but we still had quite a few left. So that kind of gives you, paints you a little bit of a picture of, actually this is a nice screenshot too. It kind of give you an idea of how the track responds, how it behaves. I think it's almost true to life, like somewhat. The only thing is, like I mentioned, I guess, as far as the way the car, like the 2 car responded, I guess, as far as the caution, obviously it doesn't slow down for a caution because there's no racing back in modern NASCAR. The only difference. So the other thing I already took a screenshot of that I want to, I don't know if I stepped on that. I wanted to make that comparison of the, that comparison of the medallions there. So hopefully I still got that. We'll check it out here. We're going to play the music. Get your horns out. Never gets old. Always got to let that play through, I guess, after a really solid run, which I think it was a really pretty solid run. All right, so now I want to check and see what screenshots that I do have here. I did do that screenshot in testing mode for that comparison that we can make in sandboxing in comparison to the sim itself. That's one of the things I do want to show for sure. So let's get out of this. And I'm going to turn on the background music again so we have... Okay. Evan coming in late with the horns. Thank you for that. What's weird on the screen? What's weird on the screen? So what I need to double check is what do I have for screenshots. Go to my main folder here, and I got First one should be... Yep, should be this one here. I'm gonna grab this guy. Oh, that. Oh, jeez. Thanks. Roasted. Yeah, I gotcha. This guy. Okay, so I need this here, and I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put this on my desktop here. Oh. We need to open this one up here. All right, so let's switch it back over. Here we go. Let's get this one. Got it. Okay, so now we have, we're back over to our Track It folder. What I need to do is open up, so we already got this all done. We already went through all that. That turned out really good. We don't need to go over that anymore. So this PTF and this, yeah, this one here, I'll get that one to torch. So that's really the only thing we did was that PTF adjustment on pit road and this deal. That's about it. I know it was something I didn't get a chance to do, and I mentioned it last week. I wanted to see. I did mention as far as what the DAT, the size of the DAT would be. That was kind of something I was. I might kind of run through that, just do a trial run, I guess, as far as of how big the DAT would be. I'm guessing it's probably right around 100 megs at this point, but that's my guesstimate. You can definitely. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, with all the detail and the textures and the 3DOs that we got going on with the track, to include the track itself, this is the geometrics of the track, all that information constitutes, I guess, as far as all that. So let's open up that TPA just brought over from there. There it is. So here we go. This is what I wanted to show. So this is that first initial screenshot that I took. So you see how well that looks. I got a little bit of the sun in there too. That's pretty neat. Got a little bit of the sun in there. But what I wanted to show in particular, I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. You can see just how well these model pieces play nice with the geometric of the wall. I mean, all the welds, you can see that it's very fluid, very smooth. Very hard to tell, I guess, as far as where the model piece starts and ends in comparison to the geometric. Now, if we look at it in Sandbox, see if I can get the window up. Look at it in Sandbox here. So we're basically at the same area here in turn 1. Okay, so let's line it up this way, almost the same way. Okay. See the difference of what needs to be done in Sandbox in comparison to the end of the game. Line up here. Something like that. So you got this. I don't know if I can get them both in this shot here. And this. So right off the bat, you can see on the very ends, for example. Yeah, it's going to be hard to me to keep them both in here. So you got these clipping of the actual model in the Sandbox, right? You don't see that in the sim at all, other than that little bit of a gap that you have at the very beginning, which is very minimal, very, very minimal. Very job well done, I guess, as far as I'm ensuring, I guess, as far as how that. I should have got the mirror out of that. That would have been a really good, cool shot. I got some pretty other cool shots, I guess, as far as those we can, as a memento, I guess, as far as of our maiden voyage, I guess, around the track. I guess as far as getting that, it's pretty cool. But yeah, you can see that difference as far as this way now. This should be a pretty fair comparison between that and this. Now, keeping in mind you don't have the sun actually glaring, but when I'm mostly pointing out, I guess, as far as the fact the clipping that you see of the model in Sandbox, that's to be expected because you have to compensate for that rendering of the geometric wall in the sim. So you always have to go into the sim and check to see how that orients with the geometric, I guess, as far as to get it to look as it does right there. There you have it. In hindsight, I almost wish I would have taken a lot of the mirror and all that stuff out of the picture, I guess, as far as to show that. That's a pretty cool shot, actually. So anyway, folks, that's pretty much all I've got to show. I will make sure, like I said, Torch gets as far as to get you the PTF and the updated grandstands texture, I guess, as far as for that. And looking forward to getting this released within next week or so, I would say, over on the Spline Design sites, as well as Torch has already mentioned too, it should be available over at Stun-On as well. And I think, again, before I forget, I want to actually take a trial run of compacting this into a DAT file, just to see where we're at. So the approach that we take to DATing up a track, I guess, as far as once you consider it to be all done. So the way we've been testing it so far has all been unpacked. So it's all unleashed, you know, everything is loose as far as in the track game track directory, as well as the edit directory. So you always want to ensure that your DAT will work as far as within the sim itself. So I think that's what we're going to try here for a second. I think I do. And if not, I think you have a spot on the, I guess we'll just have to check here. I think we've got the tools that you would need. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can either use WinMip2 to DAT, but you need a PCK file, or you can go the method that I like to use, which is with MakeDat, which what it does is it'll pack up and DAT up anything that you have in your track directory. So in this case, Texas 2020 TE, anything that you have in there, it'll DAT up. It packs up into a DAT file. So that's the approach that I want to take. If I do have it out here, look and see what I got here. Second to see if I've got it. If I do have it, then we can go that route. So most of the track unpacks that I have, that is just using WinMip2. That's totally common, I guess, as far as to use WinMip2 to unpack, but not necessarily to pack. Alright, so we don't need that anymore. I don't think I have. Let me double check on our spline designs here. You can go to the site, as I already showed earlier. So if you're on the YouTube channel or the Spline Designs Studio directly, you can go back and forth between these two, clicking on the links that we have there. We're going to go over to the Spline site. So you can get to the YouTube over here on the Spline sites too. So you can, there's more than one way, I guess, as far as to get back to either YouTube, the Spline Design Studios site, my YouTube. Everything's interconnected, so it's like there's more than one way, I guess, as far as to get from one point to the other. What I want to check here is, do I have on the sandbox page here? I don't know if I do or not. I gotta double check. If it's not, if there's an interest in it, I could definitely make that available to everybody, I guess, as far as to make that utility, because I find it very useful. Let's see if it's here. A lot of good, useful information here about everything that we've gone over on stream. Pit stall, how you locate those, the reflap utility, all the commands for that. Lots of stuff like that available here. And again, many ways, I guess, as far as to get back from one point to the other. Let's see here. So if I do not have the Make 3DO, I will be more than glad, I guess, as far as to make that available to those that would like to have it. I think it's a very useful tool to have in the toolbox when it comes to track making. So it doesn't look like I have it readily available. I haven't been doing a lot of track creation myself. I know the likes of Racer James and Torch has been doing most of that. So I'm not 100% sure if I do have it available on one of the YouTube videos. I may. If I do, I will definitely track it down to make sure that it is available. And if it's not, I'll make sure it is available for those that care to want to use it. Because like I said, it is a very useful tool when it comes to packing your track up. 100% recommend as far as using the MakeDat as opposed to using WinMip. And I do have a video on the YouTube channel that does explain the differences between using WinMip2 to pack as opposed to MakeDat. There are some, in a lot of cases, huge differences between using WinMap 2 over MakeDat. So definitely keep that in mind when it comes to that point in the game when you are considering to pack the track up into a DAT file. Yep, so yeah, I'll have to make a note of that to myself to make those types of tools available. We already got the WinMap 2, that was the other thing I was looking for. The WinMap 2 utility is 100% available for free to include the help page. In fact, that should be right here at the bottom of the Enter 2003 Edit Facts. Right at the bottom here, you got the help page for WinMap 2. So if you need any explanation as far as for how the different parameters for WinMap 2 works, that's all available on that. That's all the original help file that was available when WinMap 2 originally came out. We just made that available via the Spline Design Studios website. And also to be able to get the WinMap 2 utility itself, to include the needed DLLs and whatever files that are needed to, I guess, to make it function. They're all available right there. So feel free to check that out if you feel so inclined to indulge in these types of activities. Many other tools that are available as well that are very helpful. And yeah, just feel free to check those out. Yeah, so as much as I here to want to show that process there as far as what the size of that would be, I don't have that tool really available to me, so I'll have to find out where that's at. I know where it is on my end, but as far as where I can make it available to everybody that would care to want to have it, and let's make it easy for everybody to get to. All right. Oh, you almost got another one. GG's there. Cool. I appreciate everybody that did stick around for this rendition of Spline Design Studios Saturday, and the fact that it did no video freeze. That's cool. So we made it just over 3 hours. 3 hours and 16 minutes by my count. Fantastic. So yeah, I think we figured out, I guess, as far as our problems on video freeze. That'll be still yet to present itself, I guess, as far as once the other streams on the channel are conducted, as far as the Taco Truckin' Tuesday, whatever Wednesday, which will more than likely be continuing to play through on the Mon Bazoo, Farmer Fridays, with Evan the Bandito over on Western Wilds, and of course Spline Design Studios Saturday. All of which start at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark it on your calendars. I will be updating the schedule too. I know right now I kind of put it in a hiatus state, vacation state, I guess, as far as on the channel. I will be updating that to make sure everybody knows when the streams takes place. So with all that being said, y'all been great. Hope to see y'all again real soon, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Feel free to stick around for the host at the end of the stream. And that's all I got. Later, everybody.